Penis. Hi. Welcome to another installment of Stellar Shenanigans. Yippee! With like a big ass round this whole week. Free Stellar Shenanigans.
True.
Right.
True. Mario's spazzing out. Guys, Mario's spazzing.
Yeah. I am luckily mostly healthy again. I will still be having coughing fits, but that should be it. In the background, we once again have our silence interrupted by noises thing going on. We'll see when it goes off. And today we are going to, I am going to retell JoJo fights purely from memory. I'll talk about the context in a bit. And then, my fellow prisoners, I mean co-hosts, will be ranking them based on my retelling. And I will say right away, because I'm already seeing this fucking fight that was cut from the anime, I will be adding a row below.
Oh, Roblox.
Curse of Mario.
Was that the sound effect?
Yeah, that was the thingy in the background. That reminds me.
What did you put this time?
Silent. 1 hour of silence, occasionally interrupted by JoJo sounds.
What did you expect?
For some reason, I thought that was the sound from like Fortnite when you get a battle. Yeah.
You need psychological help. But right.
I know.
Curse of Mario, the tier for when I completely forget and cannot recount it because I feel like then y'all can at most judge the image. And y'all could just look at some of these images and wonder what the fuck is happening. That guy has a sword stuck in his chest.
Fucking motherfucker tried to be Raiden from Genshin but died in the process. I didn't understand how that shit works.
But right, and for context, I watched the entire JoJo anime up to the present day back then when Golden Wind came out, part 5, that was like 2018. Then when part 7 got animated, I watched that gradually. After I finished part 5 and was up to date, I was like, oh, I'm gonna read the whole manga, and I read the whole first part, most of the second part, but then I got bored and didn't touch JoJo for years. Then part 6 came out as the anime, and recently I was like, dog, part 7 is probably about to be animated. I'm gonna read that shit. Just read at least some of the manga, because apparently it's like one of the best mangas ever. And then I just read part 8, binged all that shit, and now I'm up to date to part 9. For context, for any JoJo fans, I think chapter 24 recently came out, like a month and a half ago. It was the one where they were on the boat trying to rip that guy off, and then suddenly all the other boats arrived. Right.
The wall.
Right.
Now that we're done with the exposition, I have to say the joke I made earlier about Ren made me want to kill myself. So let's get started.
Fantastic. All right. I might have to ping the images actually, because this is going to be a big fucking list. This is going to be we're planning to make this a 3-parter. All right. Typical day at the barber, by the way. Anyway. Right. Let's begin the fights. Thank you, Hand. Let's begin with the very first fight of the series. Jonathan Joestar versus Dio Brando. In this image, in this specific fight, they're 12 years old. Oh, hey, Peanut. In this image, in this time period, Dio just got adopted by Jonathan's family because he killed his father, and he decided, man, fuck this dude, and is decided to ruin Jonathan's life. And in this specific instance, he's humiliating him in front of everyone by cheating in boxing against him. He hits him with like a mean right hook, but then he jams his fucking finger in his eye, I think it makes it bleed a little. And then, because of this shit, he's blinded and pummeled and falls to the ground, and that's the fight. It's a quick...
You know what this reminded me of? You know that one Punch-Out guy that put an entire horseshoe in his boxing glove?
Yeah, the Irish guy. Ryan something.
No, I think that was the dude that did the most infractions in one match.
Yeah, that's the Irish guy. Ryan something. I forgot his last name. Alan Ryan, right?
Something like that, yeah. Let's just go with that.
All right.
That remind me of that.
Where do you all rank this?
It's a pretty tame start, I would say. Like
I mean,
for at least by description, it's pretty tame to the intense shit that'll happen later. So should
yeah,
we start off with like putting it in the middle, like B?
all up to you.
DLC.
Because like
IRTBs.
for me it's not that
Yeah, we
much.
don't.
It's like
This is
it's
the
not the most
like the
impressive,
first
but
three
not
fights of
bad.
the series have no magic powers at all. Like we only. I mean, okay, this one's going to be a bit stupid, but right. This is where the magic powers start, and this is where we have an actual battle system. Although, again, this was cut from the anime. Right. Next up, they're still 12 years old. 12 years old. But here's the thing.
I hate
Dio is
12-year-olds.
still a hater, and he decided, man, Jonathan has like his almost girlfriend. They're starting to be something. I'm gonna steal her first kiss and kiss her before him. So yeah, he sexually assaults her.
Oh.
And because of that, like she's really hurt. She hates herself, and Jonathan is like, Dio, you asshole! I'm gonna beat you till you cry. Like runs towards the house. Keep in mind, Dio's adopted by Jonathan's family, so they live in the same house. This fucker, and he lives in a fucking big ass mansion. So before in front of the mansion, there's this giant well, spring, thingy. I forgot. I don't know the exact word. And Jonathan, this 12-year-old, jumps above the whole thing. He's that fucking angry because he's a gentleman or something. Runs in and just beats him bloody. And then eventually, I mean, at first it's somewhat equal, but then like he just gets so righteously angry that he just keeps beating his ass. And then he gets blood on like a stone mask, and that stone mask will ruin his entire bloodline's life for the next 6 parts.
Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, so I will put this personally, at least. I would put this at A. Stakes are higher.
Yeah.
It's starting to establish something, and it sets the tone for the future. So there's like foreshadowing attached. So clearly, it's more important as a fight. So I would put
And
it
he
at A.
fucks up multiple generations of his bloodline.
Yeah, it's important. It at least has a reason to be there.
His bloodline would have suffered
Unlike
less
the
if he
first one.
just got a vasectomy. But right,
His bloodline would have suffered less if I was.
bro
I don't believe
kills
that.
the immortal vampire for funsies.
No. I'll just like drag him like by the legs, just like just like
Yeah,
like
the
the
fight with
referee in a
Master
boxing
Deuce
match.
Dio is this one. We'll get there. But yeah, did y'all say A? Or what exactly did I say?
A.
I was saying an A.
By the way, if viewers, in case the browser looks any different, I don't think it does, but in case it does look different at any moment, know that I am now on... Hi, Ari. Know that I am now on Windows 11.
You are now Windows 11, and he just says, before he says anything, oh, hi, Ari. How are you doing? The fuck?
Hello, Mario.
Hello, Mario.
I like the green
Hello,
people.
I'm Luigi.
You're not Luigi.
You're right.
Wha-
I'm Spanish.
Anyway.
You're not spicy enough to be Luigi. You're just zesty enough to
Ari,
be
we're doing
Waluigi.
something. We're recording.
Oh. Alright, I'll see myself out.
Alright, see ya.
Alright, so yeah.
Okay. And Discord's killing itself. Fantastic. Anyway. Next fight. Final one without any superpowers, I think. Should be, yeah.
Say.
At least for today's part. I think there's like one very early on in part 7. But right, we'll get there. In short, Jonathan and Dio are 20 now. And Dio is poisoning Jonathan's dad, but he cannot...
Yeah.
He can't prove it. So because of that, he like tracks down where the poison comes from and ends up in Crime Alley, basically. Imagine Gotham, but like 1880s London.
Oh.
In, like,
I
that
mean
specific alley.
Gotham, I'm the Riddler.
Oh yeah, we're in Britain, by the way. Terribly sorry that you all have to deal with the English. But right.
Hey, bro.
And yeah, Jonathan just meets a bunch of thugs. They decide, hey, we're gonna rob this fucker. And he like beats them away from him. But there's this one guy here, Speedwagon, who kind of leads the gang. Like he's a very, very big shot. He's a big shot of a crime bro. And eventually, like, he gets punched away, but in a really gentlemanly way. And because of that, he says, I won't let anyone hurt this gentleman. And just becomes his totally not gay best friend. And that's how the
Awesome.
fight ends. The thing is, Speedwagon like even throws his hat at him, and do you all know Kung Lao from Mortal Kombat? You know, with the spinny hat that has the blades on it.
I have not touched Mortal Kombat.
Okay, but his hat can like take off the brim, and the brim becomes a blade, and thank you, Killer Queen, and that blade just gets stuck in Jonathan's forearm. And then he's just like, oh shit, he's not running away. He's cool, actually.
Head with no
Let me
brim.
fuck you. And, yeah.
Whoa!
Head with no brim.
Holy shit, he's goated with it.
But yeah, Jonathan wins because he's that cool.
I B or a C. I fucking
C.
zoned out because someone sent me a video of a rhino kicking someone in the face.
Jonathan Joestar's adventure is very important because it's going to be over once we're done with this whole row. Then we go to the next part. Part 1 is very short. It's 9 episodes.
You're 9 episodes.
You're about to be 2. Right. Then we have the first fight with supernatural powers, right? Dio has found out what the Stone Mask does. If you get blood on it and you have where it pierces your brain and it just unlocks vampiric powers.
It's just like
Yeah, he just suddenly becomes a vampire. So yeah, now we have a bisexual vampire from 1888 London. Fantastic. I don't know why his skin suddenly turns grey. But it
Twilight
does.
fans would
Vampires are
be
technically, like,
so
white.
happy right now.
But right. And because of that, like he tries to confront Dio, who's still poisoning Jonathan's dad. Dio tries to stab Jonathan to get his blood. Instead, Jonathan's dad sacrifices himself, dies in his arms, like that, last minute speech. This is still something that happens early on in JoJo. Death is going to be a lot more tragic later on. And then the police tries to shoot Dio, but now he's an immortal vampire, so he just instead does like fucking Michael Jackson type shit. Poses, kills the policeman, and then they fight like all over the
Emoted
mansion.
on him.
He just they fight all over the mansion. I don't know how. I don't remember how, but the mansion catches on fire, and eventually, like Dio just manages to put his legs through a wall, just walk up it. But while Jonathan is falling down to his death, he should be getting pierced by a massive statue. But no, he takes out his belts, grapples him with the belt, pulls him down, forces Dio to get impaled instead, and then runs away with a lot of broken bones to fuck his girlfriend, I think. He gets brought to a hospital. And then he just... because he is literally unable to fight anymore. He tries to get away and hopes that Dio dies in the rubble of the burning building. Dio does not die in the rubble of the burning building.
But the wizard did not forget. Fucking, I don't know. Or do we count this as an
B.
S? Like A or B.
Y'all gotta make up your mind. Astray, what do you think? If you're talking, your mic is not active. And bro's deafened. That's not tea, that's coffee. What the fuck?
Wait, it is coffee.
They got him. They got him.
Half brain.
He has been
Dio and
replaced.
Joseph don't fight. General, like they have one fight technically, but it's not a one-on-one. Like most of Joseph's fights are in part 2, and part 2 is like a part where Dio doesn't fucking appear. But right, what do y'all think of the Dio gets powers fight?
ERA.
And Bay. Michael Bay.
Make up your
Does the sun come
fucking
up
minds,
in
or
this
I
setting?
will strangle you.
It's a
B, then.
fucking Michael Bay movie setting. I don't know.
Then B for Michael Bay. I don't recall this fight. It was like at all. It was cut from the anime. I've read this part of the manga. I don't know why I don't recall it. I guess it's really forgettable. It's probably just a few panels. What I can tell just from the image is that like they're at the bottom of a specific mountain right after they picked up a child for some reason, and this is just
Nice.
this is just neat, and this is just Dio's minion, a racist caricature of a Chinese man.
D.
But yeah, Curse of Mari. I don't forget. I don't forget it. I don't forget. I don't remember it at all. All right, this is Jack the Ripper. Dio just picks up Jack the Ripper, turns him into a vampire, and he like hides in like a subway station, I think. No, not a subway station, a tunnel.
Like, straight up
Just,
Jack the Ripper? Like,
Yeah,
no
this is Jack the
alteration,
Ripper.
just-
This is literally Jack the Ripper.
Oh, that's fun.
And he's hiding in a tunnel. Jonathan has to beat him to train with his new sun-like karate punches training. And because of this, like Jack the Ripper, yeah, that was the Hamon sound effect, by the way. Jack the Ripper jumps out of a horse and hides behind a wall, and Jonathan Joestar uses the power of wine to punch through the wall and kill him.
The power of wine?
The power of wine,
some
like he has
reason,
a glass of wine.
For some reason, I thought you said jump through a whore. Like, what?
No, Jack the Ripper jumps out of a horse.
Jumps out of a hole.
Yeah.
I promise I am funny. Please trust me.
A.
Do not trust me with anything.
I promise the horse
I'll
was
say
not
it.
pregnant. Anyway, what do
This
y'all
is like foreshadowing for later.
what do y'all think?
A.
Probably an A.
Alright, Jack the Ripper.
It's pretty
Here we are at the top of the
fine.
mountain. Dio has like become a full vampire, has like a small undead army, kills a fuck ton of people for funsies. And like Jonathan Joestar and his new mentor are like attacking him, and like the mentor runs up to him because he wants to not because he has personal beef with Dio, he just really fucking hates that mask they used to become a vampire. It tries to punch him. Dio catches his hand, freezes it instantly because that's something vampires can do, I guess. Causes severe wounds, and then he's about to be attacked again. Thank you, Killer Queen. But Jonathan comes in, blocks the other punch, and then they're like all in a really awkward position. It does not look comfortable in the slightest. And then
We're gonna look up gun mods in mind for it.
And then, with that frozen hand, he got severely wounded. So what exactly happened? Speedwagon, that extra criminal that is now Jonathan's best friend, uses the power of his really hot abs to unfreeze him. Yeah, I don't recall how the fuck he learned to do that, but he can do that. He just thaws his arm with the power of abs. Axel would be proud.
He's just that goated, I guess.
Yeah, he's Speedwagon. He's the Speedweed car.
He's the weed!
But right. What do y'all think?
Another... You know what? Is this our first S?
Maybe.
Do we count this as a first S? Alright. Okay, so it's official. We count this as the first ever...
Neat.
Yeah, the first
I
ever...
agree.
Yeah. God, I can't hear the letter S in the context of JoJo anymore because there's just this one fucker in part 4 that keeps saying SHIT! Keep in mind, they're in Japan. Okay. Okay, let's talk about Queen Mary, I think, from the 14th century. I don't recall the details. These are ancient undead knights. Tarkus and Brewfort. Here's Brewfort. He has a sword and really long hair that he can control freely. And he and Jonathan have like just kind of keep flexing at each other, keep attacking, then not attack each other. They kind of show how cool they are.
I'm the coolest.
And eventually, Brewfort, I don't know, is like, dog, you're the coolest. I am dead now. Take my sword. There's the word luck on it, but I'm gonna add the letter P in front with my blood, and now it's pluck.
Pluck.
Now go fuck someone up with it. And he dies. And also, do you all know that, like, omae wa mo shinneiru meme?
Is that from here?
No, it's not from here. It's from the manga that directly inspired this one. Fist of the North Star. But he basically does the same thing with how because these punch barrages, they become pretty iconic in the series. And here we get like the first one. But instead of like ora 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 or muda muda muda, he just yells sunlight yellow overdrive and punches them with the power of the sun.
How about I fucking get you?
But yeah, it's basically just a mid-off until once decides, yeah, you're cooler, and gives up.
B.
B and C.
C.
It's just lame.
Alright. I'm gonna go with B because we have a tie technically, so I'm the tiebreaker. I'm the tiebreaker, baby. Alright. Next up we have the other knight, Tarkus. He is not honorable, he's just big, massive, and really strong, and he wants to kill. He chains Jonathan up in a castle. They get to the Asgard with like for taking a bunch of leaves, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But right, Jonathan is chained up, and he's like, "Oh God, I'm gonna fucking die! Oh no, this is bad." And then, like, his mentor here, Willie Zeppeli's like, "I'm gonna save you," he then we get like a flashback how someone read his future, most like, "You're gonna die if you save that dude, Lamau." So right, and then he gets the chain wrapped around his torso, gets ripped in half by the big guy.
Nice.
Gives the rest of his magic sunlight karate power to Jonathan. And Jonathan then kills the big guy. And I think then he also
Kills him, man.
yeah, then like William Zeppeli, that's the mentor's name, also like gets his 1 minute of saying goodbye. Thank you, I guess.
Bro, we've had like 3 fights in a row where someone's dying.
I mean, yeah, enemies die a lot depending on the part. Like, you'll see a lot of deaths in part 5, which is funny because you'll see like 3 max in part 4. Guess which one has a serial killer in it? Guess which one has multiple serial killers, actually?
Or
Exactly. But right, dude gets cut in half, gives his power to Jonathan. Jonathan kills big guy, says goodbye to his mentor, and then they all leave to meet his mentor's old friends to fight Dio. And also to bring that child that they still had from like 3 fights ago away.
A.
Hey, alright. You gotta give a ranking span.
Oh fuck, A.
Bro is not paying attention. Are you playing Minecraft? No. Alright. Next we
Yes.
get the
He is.
motherfucker.
No, I'm not.
Sure you aren't. But right, next we
Fuck,
have a fight
it says
that's...
I am.
Wait, what?
Just keep going, man.
You motherfucker! Trying to lie to me like Discord won't call you bullshit. Bro forgot that Discord
okay.
exists.
I did. Alright, okay. Yeah, A.
But next up,
Next.
we get a fight that's technically just 2 attacks. Because right, we have the friends of that old mentor, and this is one of them. He has like this really cool attack that is very like cool, I promise. He like jumps to the air, slowly kicks towards someone, and once they try to block that kick, he spreads his legs to like get their arms apart, and then he's like, "You fell for it, fool! Thunder cross split attack!" He does this pose, and then like has like his magic sunlight karate in his hands in order to hit you with the power of thunder and the sun. And he does that attack like twice in the whole series. It never works. This fight is the second time he does it, and he like gets killed instantly by Dio because Dio freezes his entire body, crushes his entire body.
Nice.
Then his head falls to like a
Nice.
pool of flowers, roses specifically. With his lips, he grabs a rose, puts his magic sunlight karate, Hamon by the way, into it, spits it at Dio, and I think like takes out an eye. It immediately gets recovered, but you know, he does hit him with like the Haman flower and then fucking dies.
I see.
I guess it could say he should have quit while he was ahead. Anyway, what do y'all think?
C.
Yeah, it's fucking nothing.
It's two
It's a-
attacks.
Next up,
It's a whole lot of nothing.
Next up, we get the final showdown between Jonathan and Dio. Ignore the image after that, where the two fight like a lot,
What?
and Dio like continues trying to freeze Jonathan. Like he grabs his neck and pulls out like a major vein that the moment he cuts it, Jonathan would probably die, and he decides to play with it like it's fucking string cheese. And then. But here's the thing, right? Because of the like, Jonathan tries to cut him in half, and then he like tries to use ice to break the sword. Unlucky for him, Jonathan fought ahead and put and like lit the sword on fire. Then he like breaks the sword with his hand. Dio breaks the sword with his hands. Then Jonathan decides to punch him with Hamon. He tries to freeze Jonathan's hand. Jonathan says, "Fuck you, I'm built different." Lights his hand on fire and punches him. This time it works, and like they just keep kind of throwing hands at each other while the entire group is surrounded by zombies. They're like at the top of like a mansion, I think. I don't recall the details. But right, eventually Dio's head gets cut off, and I think he uses his eye laser to shoot himself away. It might be I might be misremembering this because of an animation I saw summarizing this thing. I haven't watched the actual fight in like 7 years, but yeah, eventually his head flies away.
I love the idea that
Wait. Let me finish. The head flies away. What is that edit? Asteroid, what the fuck is that image?
What is that asteroid?
what is what? Huh? What happened?
Check the stage text. Stop playing Minecraft.
What is that? Is that toothpaste?
What is the shitting toothpaste?
I'm about to clean. Oh, this is great.
Yeah, half brain. That's a toothpaste. But right, and eventually his head flies away, and everyone says, "Well, he lost his fucking head, and his body got like burned with the Hamon." He's probably dead. Yeah, he's probably dead, and that's the fight.
Yeah.
Little did they know he was not dead.
But yeah, it's basically just ping pong, you know. I stab you. I freeze the sword. I light the sword on fire. I break the sword. I punch you. I freeze
It's
your hand.
literally like two children.
I set my hand on fire. Now fuck you. I mean, that's basically the fight.
It's like that one time where it's like when you go to the playground and it's like you're like playing tag on the playground and then you're like, no, I'm time out. I'm on a safe zone. You can't get.
But yeah.
I was like, I'm not even playing. I'm not even playing.
What do y'all think?
A or S.
I'll go with S.
S
I
it is?
like it.
Alright, here is the true final fight between Jonathan and Dio.
Okay.
Right.
So he's just ahead.
Yeah. Here's the thing. It's a year later, 1889 now. Jonathan is on his honeymoon, and we now know, and we do know that shortly before this, he did officially fuck. So he didn't die a virgin. And then suddenly, like, remember this racist caricature, right? It's back with Dio's head in a jar, and he's like, Jojo! That's Jonathan's nickname, by the way. Jojo, I'm gonna steal your body! And then they like fight, and zombies are on the ship, and Jonathan kills almost everyone, but every zombie. And they like save a little girl, and he goes to like his wife. Okay, take this coffin that Dio was hiding in, jump into it, and then try to survive the incoming ship explosion. Oh yeah, the ship is on fire and going to explode. And he's like, "Oh, hide in that coffin, survive, save this little girl, save our son that's in your belly." And then like try to get rescued. I am literally fucking dying from blood loss. And then he like holds Dio's head in his hands, and he like embraces him as he dies because he thinks that Dio is also going to die from the incoming explosion.
And Dio, in fact, did not die from the explosion.
We'll see that later. But yeah, basically Jonathan sacrifices himself, and we are at the end of part 1 already.
Okay, I mean, another S. I like the ship blowing up. That's funny.
Yeah.
Funny.
It's
It's
funny.
funny.
It's
I agree.
a
So
really
what's the rank?
it's good. I would say another S. Another S.
What do you think, Luna?
Yeah, I agree with Span.
By the way, y'all on
Another
Stellar Stage
ass.
Text can also rank if you feel like it. Alright, now we're in part 2. First fight, assaulting the police. In short, for context, Joseph Joestar, 1938 New York, I think. And he was just trying to buy a glass of cola, you know, the original recipe with cocaine. And he's like, alright, gonna pay for it. And then suddenly, like, this little black kid runs past him, steals the wallet, and then immediately gets racially profiled by the cops. Just because he's black, that doesn't mean that he tried to rob someone. I mean, he did try to rob someone, but not because he's black. Right. And then, let me think what happened then. Brain fart. Why is my brain farting? Right. And then, like, the kid gets racially profiled. 2 cops assault the kid, the black kid, and Jonathan's like there with his glass of Coca-Cola, and he's like, "Yo, stop being racist." Keep in mind, 1938, New York. And the cops are like, "Lamau, fuck off. We'll be taking your wallet, by the way." And he's like, "Hey, I'm serious. Quit being racist, or I will get very fucking angry." Oh yeah, something I forgot to mention. He's 18, so yeah, still very hormonal bastard. And they're like, "I'm pointing a gun at you, bitch. Don't you move." And he's like, "Dude, if you pull that trigger, I'm gonna break your finger without coming any closer." And he's like, "Lamau, he's on cocaine." And he's like, "Yeah." And then just channels his biologically gotten magic sunlight karate into the Coca-Cola bottle. Makes like all the carbonated thingy bubbling, and shoot, like, it explodes in a way that, like, the bottleneck cap shoots right into his finger before he can pull the trigger, breaking it very violently. Like, this is one of the few fights that got me to flinch just because of how surprisingly real the violence is. Afraid it's not my fault that someone ruined the word carbonated for you. It's a carbonated drink. It's not carbonated cum. Stop worrying. Anyway, but right. And then just the other cop, like, the other cop pulls his gun out, I think. No, wait. Before he got the one cop with the gun, the other cop was just, like, putting his finger in his nose and shit. I forgot the English word for that.
Delivering.
Yeah, picking his nose or something. He was picking his nose or something, and Joseph just punches him so hard into the nose and hand that just his finger breaks through the skin and comes out on top. It's very disgusting. Yeah, it's very disgusting. But yeah, and then, you know, the thing with the gun happens, and he breaks his finger, and then you know, right as all the Coca-Cola fizzles out of the bottle, he just drinks it really coolly. And then he just, like, adopts the black kid as his new best friend.
When you said the gun thing happens, I thought for a second we were already at the part where the gun comes out of the paper.
No. That's part 4. That's very late part 4. That is this fight. Okay, this fucker. Okay. Very punchable face. It's him. We'll get to the gun paper thing with this one. Yeah. Tomorrow.
Honestly, kind of based, I'd say AOS.
S for killing, S for violently punishing racists, and we do that right again.
True.
As now
Yeah, S for racism.
Joseph and his grandmother Irina, Jonathan's wife, or widow now, they're like eating in a restaurant with their new black friend, and like the guests are really fucking shitty about it because remember it's 1938 New York, so people are being racist to the kid. His name is Smokey, and Joseph is getting angry at that, and Irina is like, dog, fuck these assholes, fight that racist asshole, but don't hurt anyone that isn't racist, right? Like take care, make sure to like not harm anyone else here, but fuck that racist bastard. You're not racist against my friends or something like that. Yeah, Irina is really cool in this part. Shame that the next one is like in 50 years later, so she has literally no way of living till then. But right. And at that point, Joseph is like the other guy, this big ass dude. He tries to like pull out like the rings you put on your fingers to punch someone harder with spikes, and he's like, and he like predicts, hey, you put it in the wrong pocket, dipshit. And he's like, oh, how did you know that? And then he just like keeps predicting his lines, and that's like Joseph's thing when he's young. He predicts lines. And eventually he just beats the racist bloody.
Based.
Huh.
Like they just have a fist fight in a restaurant, and Joseph wins because he's goated.
So, I got a DM on Steam from Joseph Joestar telling me stop playing Minecraft.
Motherfucker, focus. Being on
I'm tapped out of it. I'm here.
But right, rank the fight. The
AOS.
fight.
S for killing a racist.
Not killing,
Actually,
just
true.
wounding.
Close enough. Still S.
I think Joseph has like one of the lowest kill counts among the Joestars. I think the only one that has a confirmed, where I'm sure he has a lower kill count, is his son, who only killed like 2 rats in his part.
You killed my rat.
But right, next up, we get like one of the buddies of Wille Zeppeli, introduced in the previous part, but now he's like way older, and he's like, oh, I want to not be old, because technically Haman is supposed to make him age more slowly, but he still got older, and he hates that. So he like became a vampire, and like attacked our favorite speedweed car.
No.
And because of that, like he now says, I need to kill you, Joseph. You're the only one that can threaten me because you have Jonathan Joestar's blood in your veins. Like, your grandma fucked my worst possible enemy, or something like that. And because of that, like they fight in that same restaurant later, I think. But now Joseph has to deal with an actual vampire who's about as strong as Theo was, and he's like, man, fuck this, and he like. Used like a mirror to confuse him because remember vampires have eye lasers in this universe, and he was like, how can he live with a hole in his head? Like predicts the line then, like, how can he live with a hole in his head? Oh! And then he's like, you fucking country bumpkin, gotta live in the city more. We've got all kinds of tricks. And one of those tricks is like throwing a grenade at him throwing the grenade away again, but attached to that grenade were like strings that pull to other grenades, so the moment the grenade flies away, it triggers all the other grenades that he hid in the vampire's scarf somehow. And he's like, you gotta pay attention more. And then all the grenades go off, and he's like severely injured.
That character to me when he sees that I've opened Forge.
That's a Looney Tunes ass line. What is that?
But right, and then he's like, all right, I have a plan I have a plan now. And like his black friend Smokey is like there. Oh, what's your plan? You see his legs; they're severely injured. What? Yeah, my legs are way stronger. Are you gonna kick him? No, I'm running away. What the fuck? And the important part is that I'm running away. Smokey is Nigarunda yo Smokey, so he calls a black kid the N-word and runs away. That part. No, it's Nigarunda yo. Nigarunda yo. Not the
Oh, that's
N-word.
the scene you were talking about.
But right, he runs away, and then later on, the vampire fucker is back, fully healed, on a bridge, kidnapped a random woman, and he's like, Jojo, because Joseph is also called Jojo. Jojo, if you don't fight me, I'm gonna kill her. And he's like, why the fuck would I care? She's a stranger. The fuck? He's like, oh, and the woman is like, oh, what the fuck? And then eventually, Joseph has like shot glasses with him, and he triggers the vampire to shoot at him again, and he knows that the vampire always shoots like one laser to his forehead, and the other one is a bit random. He got hit in the shoulder with that, but because he knew that, he could reflect one laser back at the guy, and eventually he like fell off the bridge. And because they talked, the vampire was like, I don't want to live anymore, and they. And then he uses his hormone from back when he was a human in order to kill himself now that he's a vampire. And then he just dies before the sun can rise up.
Damn.
Okay.
Where's that fuck this shit?
Okay. This is
Hey.
Yeah.
I personally think the grenades and the running away part are like highlights, but the ending of the fight is kind of mid.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Alright, next we have just a random assassin in the desert, because at this point Joseph is like trying to sneak into a Nazi base in order to save his Speedwagon.
Oh yeah.
And that guy's just in the desert attacking Joseph. I don't remember how exactly the fight went, but I know it ends with him being with like Joseph sending Hamon into a cactus. The cactus explodes into the asshole, and then he just ties the assassin to a cactus, I think. And then he just like
Ouch.
fucks off on his motorcycle to attack the Nazi camp, the Nazi base.
B.
Okay.
Span, give him a ranking.
Oh fuck. So I got it ahead of message.
B.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Like, I'll agree.
B.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
All right, next up, we're in the Nazi base now. Turns out the Nazis have like this ancient pillar man asshole. They named him Santana. You remember what a vampire is, right? These guys are basically more powerful vampires. They eat vampires for funsies.
Vampire squared.
I think they eat zombies, and they're like so far above humans they can like walk through a human, accidentally ingest like half their body because of their skin, if the human is weak enough, and not even notice it. It's like stepping on an ant for them. And this guy,
but can they Jesus?
Later. I don't know.
Can they
but
walk
what
on
I do
water
know
like
is that
Jesus?
this fucker, like, he somehow learns modern language in like milliseconds, manages to crush every bone in his body to get through an air shaft, and then come out back and hides in someone's body, and then Joseph and him have like a mog each other, and Joseph gets all playful, but the guy like inverts his rib cage, like it pulls his rib cage out of his body, points it backwards to like judge Joseph's Hamon, and eventually, right, the Nazi general Rudolf von Stroheim, like he tries to open the door so that the guy, because this guy is still weak to sunlight, but then his leg got chopped off, and the guy is hiding in his body now. So outside, outside he's hiding in the body to not get hit by the sunlight. He says, "Fire in the hole!" Uses a grenade, blows himself up. But for a few seconds, like the guy is still immune to the sunlight. Grabs Joseph and like suplexes him into the nearby well. But then Joseph is like, "Haha! You didn't know that it was fucking high noon. Now the sun is right in front of us, and it's reflecting in the water, and now you're fucking dead." And then he just like dissipates, and Joseph is like trapped at the bottom of a well for a bit.
Nice, good job, idiot.
But yeah, that's the fight.
Hey.
Thank you, Joseph. Yeah.
Hey. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, mate.
Okay, now
We
Joseph
should have
meets his
more funny
boyfriend
sound
without
effects.
knowing it. We're in Italy now. Remember Wille Zeppeli from part one? This is his grandson, Caesar Zeppeli, and he and Joseph like you know like love at first sight. What that is?
Yeah.
These guys have hatred at first sight. They immediately fucking despise each other. Like in a restaurant, they just like throw shit at each other with their Hamon energy, like noodles and shit, or like squid ink.
They just try to kill each other.
Yeah, like they don't try to kill each other, just try to piss each other off because they hate each other. Like Caesar hates Joseph for generational hatred reasons because your grandfather caused the death of my grandfather, not knowing that Jonathan and William. Long as hell sound effect. What the hell? But then Jonathan, not knowing that Jonathan and William were like really close friends. Not really close friends, but they were like close allies. And Joseph just thinks Caesar's face sucks. Yeah, so and eventually like, they keep beefing, and Caesar shows his ultimate power, bubbles. Well, Joseph just has like his fucking clackers that he keeps throwing everywhere. And eventually they like they meet at a fountain. They're like forced to be allies, and they fucking hate each other still. And for some reason, like they fight, and just to flex, Caesar traps Joseph in a bubble and kisses a woman. And Joseph is like, haha, I hit a dove in that mouth of the woman, and now you have a dove in your mouth. And then the bubble pops, and Caesar just chokes on the fucking dove.
Hilarious.
And then they decide to pull their shit together because they have to find look at the 3 new pillarmen. That'll be the next fight.
Decide to stop fucking around.
Hey.
Mm.
I'm gonna take it. Yeah, I guess it. Alright, next up we have the introduction to the main villains of the part, the Pillarmen. In short, remember how I said before they could walk through someone and eat him accidentally? Joseph and Caesar are meeting with one of Caesar's friends, a Nazi, and they like find these 3 Pillarmen at the bottom, and a whole bunch of Nazi men I think are there, all guarding it. But Joseph and Caesar can be there despite not being German because they know a guy. Yeah, they're racist, but Joseph and Caesar are cool, I guess. So these 3 Pillarmen come out. They're like, I forgot the melody. But right, the fucks come out, accidentally kill the one guy, the Nazi that Caesar was friends with. They tie 12 or so Nazis together and suck all of their blood at once, like a really weird conga line.
Oh no!
And eventually,
in a conga line.
Yeah, and then eventually Joseph tries to fight him, gets fucked up, runs away, and just plays. And it's literally like a Scooby-Doo scene. Like, the one guy is just looking away. Joseph crawls away. The guy turns around. Joseph plays dead. Turns around again, crawls away. Turns around again, plays dead, etc. and so on. Like IQ of 1,000,000 or so, apparently. But he still falls for the oldest trick in the book.
It just reminds me of the fucking Scooby-Doo scene where they're going through a hallway of like doors. Yes. And one time like the monster's chasing them, the other time they're chasing it. Like they're going through completely random, end up just like meeting each other in the middle.
But right.
Just, like,
Next up, what happens is that like Joseph hides in a minecart for a while, but they catch up to him, and 2 of them are like, all right. We should kill you now. He's like, no, give me a month, I'll be strong enough to beat your asses. And they're like, okay, in 1 month, we're gonna come back and fight. For now, we put like these 2 wedding rings of death, like one on your windpipe, one on your heart, and they will kill you in like a month if we don't fight. And you need to kill us and take our rings in order to survive. And then they fuck off, and Joseph is like, I want to fucking die, and this is what I have to deal with now.
The fucking conga line bit reminded me of that one like TF2 video where there was like a line of scouts doing like the taunt kill to each other, like front to back.
Wow.
And it was just like a whole line at the same taunt kill.
my
Just
ass.
boom, boom, boom.
But right, that's the
This
fight.
fight is like just for the Scooby Doo bit alone. That just goes into
Yes.
S for me.
Yes.
That earns
It
S.
is a good
That's
introduction
so
of the characters. All right, next up, Joseph and Caesar meet their new mentor, and she like says, "All right, Joseph, you breathe like shit. Wear this mask that restricts your breathing until you breathe, unless you breathe correctly. I'm going to throw you at the bottom of this gigantic fucking hall, and if you don't climb up this oiled up pillar with your hamon, within a few days, you will die. But that's your training now, and if you can't do this, I'm not gonna fucking train you. Fuck you." And then, like, for the next 3 or 4 days, they do that, and Joseph and Caesar stop hating each other because they have to work together, and they kind of show how skilled they are to each other, how seriously they take shit. And at the end of the day, like, Joseph does, like, think about killing the master at first, but I think that she just gives him something to eat, or, like, a bed to rest in, and he's like, alright, cool.
I see. What A or B, maybe.
B.
Okay, next up, after a whole month of training, eventually, they are attacked because they have, like, this cool red stone that's important. It's not particularly important for the fights.
Redstone.
Yeah, it's like it's the redstone of Asia. Not particularly important, except for this one fight, but we'll get to that. Just know they have the stone, and they are like, all right, fuck, we gotta get it or something.
Fuck.
This one guy, he's like one of those three assholes. He's the one here to the left. Number two, technically, his name is ACDC. He's like, I killed one of your
What?
mentors. Yeah, his name is ACDC. Like
Like the band?
yes.
Yes.
Welcome to JoJo.
Oh
Everything
my
is named
God.
after music. Like the others are like we also have like Wham and Cars, which are also named after bands. Although to
Can't
be
wait
fair,
for like Dot Wave.
there is like Metallica. There is like
There's a man named Metallica.
not a man, a stand. But you know, Speedwagon is a song reference. Polnareff is a song reference, I think.
Is there one called Stands By Me? Just tell me now.
Not that I know of. We do have like
Fuck.
we do, but in part 5, people are just named after the Italian words for fruits. Like one of the characters is just called Orange in Italian, and he is like one of the most tragic characters in the anime, I think.
I regret laughing immediately.
But he got bullied because his parents called him Orange for some fucking reason.
I'm back to laughing.
No, that's not what happens. But yeah, basically this guy ACDC's like, I killed your mentor and we're gonna fight now. And they're like on top of a bunch of spikes. Joseph can like walk on the spikes without getting hurt because of his Hamon training. This guy just regenerates a lot and just lets the spikes pierce through his legs to get a grip. It looks painful. And then, like, this guy is like, hey, I can control my fucking veins. And then he, like, opens up his toenails and fingernails, and veins come out of them. Kind of like tentacles.
D.
And then he, like, makes his blood boil. And like, this really hot blood, I think he just tries to kill Joseph with his hot veins and his hot blood. And it doesn't particularly work because eventually Joseph is like, fuck you, I have this, not a hat, a mitzvah. What? Luna, do you know what mitzvah means in English? Like a wool hat.
What the fuck is a mitzvah?
A hat made of wool, basically. That's the important part. It's made of wool.
Beanie?
Hi, Astro.
Yeah.
Glad to know you're still alive.
Beanie is
Yeah, a beanie, basically. Not exactly, but you get what I mean. And because it's made of wool, he could just use his hammer to control the wool, and he turns the wool into, like, similar tendrils that he can control. And with that, he, like, sets up a trap, and manages to, like, cut off his arm. He decides, fuck you, I'm taking your arm entirely, so before he can reattach it, he just burns it until it's nothing but bones. This guy, as you can see in this image, starts sobbing violently And then it's like, oh, I feel much better. Crying feels great.
Oh,
This is like one of the strongest characters in the entire, like one of the most physically strong characters in the entirety of the JoJo mythos. By the way, I love him. The scene is great. And then eventually Joseph is like, my mood ring just turned black, Lamau. And then eventually Joseph is like, I'm gonna kill you now, and he fails to kill him. But you know he does almost
Nice,
erase
good
his
job.
entire body, and then he like walks away like Lamau, I killed his ass, not knowing that he has like a giant fucking brain stuck to his back. But we'll get to that.
not knowing that he did not, in fact, kill his ass.
But right, I killed your mentor. Oh God, I'm almost dead. Help me. What do y'all think of that fight?
I mean,
A.
a lot of these are A. We're gonna hear that letter a lot.
I think it's funny how the first three tiers all begin with a Jonathan versus Dio fight. I mean, this is technically a Jonathan and William versus Dio fight, but we get a Jonathan and Dio fight right after, so Lamau. But yeah,
Lol. Yeah.
A.
that's just a thing. JoJo has a lot of good fights. Thank you, Joseph.
I mean, the fucking vein part made me want to like kill myself, but
It's worse if you have an image of in your mind of this.
But the wool
Yeah,
hat was
which I
funny,
did.
right? The wool hat. That was funny, right? The fact that Joseph killed him with a wool hat.
That's funny.
Anyway, next up, gigantic. Joseph doesn't notice the giant brain on his back, despite knowing that something is weighing him down. Oh well. So right, what Joseph then does while the brain is spying on him, says a giant. Shut up, half brain. I forgot what you were joke for a second. But right. And while he has the brain stuck to his back, he like talks to this one Italian girl he fancies. He's like, "I'm gonna have sex with you later," and then he like, and then he decides to while his mentor is taking a bath, he's like peeping on her, and he's like, "Nice, she's naked," and he doesn't realize yet that that's
where that comes from.
yeah,
That's the scene.
and he doesn't yet realize that that's his mom. But we'll get to that. And then eventually, like the girl he fancies, turns out that the brain has infected her and taken her over, and the guy is not dead yet. And this is when Caesar comes in and like, okay, first we're not gonna address that Lisa is taking a bath. Please put some clothes on. We're gonna fight this guy now, but we can't hurt the girl. And Joseph is like, magnets. And Caesar is like, you son of a bitch, I'm in. And then they like invert her polarity or something with their Hamon, and they completely erase the brain, but then they realize that Redstone of Asia that the guy was for, he already sent it in the mail to Switzerland. So now they have to race to Switzerland.
What the fuck is happening?
So yeah, the brain is erased.
GG's, I guess.
So yeah.
Beyond.
So yeah, Joseph made Sigmund Freud proud.
Oh, this is
B.R.A.
I love it.
I should have knows.
You know what? It's funny. I would put it at A.
It's funny enough that it is. That just, yeah.
So the average.
It had no like removable toenails, at least.
Alright, next up. Oh
that's
shit,
a
that's the
factor.
Nazi again. Remember the Nazi that blew himself up because the guy was in his foot? Hey, he's back now. He's been rebuilt, and then eventually, he and the other Nazis, they like intercepted the package with the stone.
Stone Luigi.
And then eventually, like Kars, the leader of these Pillarmen, comes in and he's like, "I want the stone." He's like, "Fuck you!" Thank you, Jotaro. And then he says, "My heart goes out to you," to the guy. Says
Also,
that
like
German. And then he says that German engineering is the best in the world, and reveals that he's not mostly a cyborg, and he is physically powerful enough to like actually wound the guy, but then gets torn in half, Lamau. Because the other guy has like a saw blade or something on his arm that he can pull out, and just cuts all of his ammunition in half, Lamau.
You know what else you could pull out?
I think
contract.
I think on his way here, like Cars also cut a car in half with the people in it, killing people in it just so they wouldn't kill a dog on accident.
I mean, base.
But yeah, this guy like now has a gun in his torso, and he like shoots a bunch and still gets like ripped in half. And this is like when Joseph comes in
There's
and
a
like,
bomb
holy
threat,
shit, you're alive! And then like he gets ripped in half. He's still alive though. Yeah, that's basically the fight. The next fight is like 2 seconds after.
B.
2 seconds.
A
Like
B.
counted.
No, it's like
Yeah,
really shortly
B.
after. Alright, B. 10,000 Bs. Right. Next up, Joseph is here and Cars is here, and they both know, oh shit, we both want the rock. And for some reason in the snow, the rock slides towards a cliff, and Joseph is like, shit, I need to get it first, but I can't run much faster, and I have to get slower before I'm at the edge of the cliff, because I can't survive the fucking fall. But he can survive the fall because he's like practically immortal or something. And then they like both fall down, and then for some reason, within like 15 minutes of falling, only 2 seconds actually happen. And Joseph makes like use like icicles, fuels them with Hammond to create a semi-rope, while Caesar is at the top of the cliff, also using icicles to create a semi-rope. So, and then they combine their Hammond ropes, the Hammond icicles to Hammond-sicles, their Hammond testicles, combine them, and pull Joseph back up. Now he has the rock, and Cars just falls down the cliff. Like literally,
Nice.
just imagine that one meme of Kirby falling down with the And yeah, it's basically a race.
Sound effect. Hey.
Hey?
Me when I find my homies. Hey.
Hey! Okay, next up, we're in Switzerland now. They have the rock, but they need to kill the Pillarman. And Caesar and Joseph hate each other again for some reason. They like argue. Caesar wants to attack right now. Joseph is like, dog, we need to be smart about this. Which is wild because Joseph is not smart. He's clever, but he's at least not wise. But yeah, Caesar goes in, and Caesar with his bubbles fights the Pillarman that have power over air, and he's like so good with air that he can like create an air barrier around him that protects him from the sun. Which is
Avatar Last Airbender.
Yeah, an ability that would probably be perfect for League of Legends players, but it's instead this buff Aztec god of fitness has it. And Caesar like does a whole bunch of cool shit, like reflects a lot of light to like let it attack him directly. But he fucking dies. Like it's not even fair. He was a dumbass about it. Got really hurt quite a lot. Bleeds violently, and just at the end, like before anyone can even like notice his death, he gets crushed by a rock falling from the ceiling, shaped like a cross.
Damn, he got Jesus.
Yeah, but then like similar to his grandfather, he gives the last of his Hammond to Joseph, but instead of like a 15-minute goodbye speech. It's just, this is the last of my Hammond, receive it! And he makes a last bubble out of his blood with his headband in it. And like Joseph and their mentor Lisa and like the other mentor that's still alive come in, and they all like grieve him. And like Joseph is like, Caesar! And like cries and shit.
Oh, that's where that comes from.
And like takes the headband and he pulls it around his head like in honor of his dead rival / teammate.
So it's probably both.
So yeah, that's the fight. Caesar kills himself. Lamau.
Sayori.
I gently open the door.
Oh, hell no. Skip. Man, when does this game get fucking good?
Whoa!
I don't remember that part of JoJo Literature Club.
JoJo Literature Club. Just Dio, bro. Holy shit.
But yeah, what do you think?
S, I would say. Fucking just Dio, bro. Holy shit.
Alright. This next fight, I genuinely don't remember. All I know is that, like, this guy tries to be like, oh, I'm gonna stop you, and gets killed in one hit or something.
Nice. Good job, dumbass.
Yeah,
Bro,
but I
fumbled.
honestly put this in a Curse of Mario. I do not remember this guy.
I will put you in Curse of Mario.
Alright. Next up, we have Joseph and the guy that killed Caesar. But, you know, Caesar actually got his ring, so Joseph wouldn't need to fight him for the ring. He just needs to fight him so he doesn't take over the world, Lamau. And they decide, fuck it, gladiator match. And they, like, have a horse racing shit, and they attack each other. And I think Joseph forces Wham to eat Caesar's headband or something. And eventually, like, they fight so much that Wham is like, fuck you, I'm coming out of the horse, blinded, and with a horn on my head. I really don't recall a lot about this fight. All I know is that, like, it ends with Whammo being like, damn, you have a warrior's heart. I hate you. I love you. I hate you. I love you. And then he dies. Like, I don't recall much more. Like, it's just like an honorable gladiator duel.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I think I remember the animation being good.
I mean, it's JoJo, but, like, you know.
AOB.
Yeah. It's almost an S, but doesn't have enough, like, doesn't, you know? It has, but not enough has.
It's the A span.
I did. I said A.
Alright, next up...
I said I, like I'm Australian.
Okay, now we have 3 fights with the same asshole. Lisa, the mentor, tries to fight the leader of the Pillarmen. I don't recall the details again, but what I do know is that eventually he cheats against her, and for some reason, when she's semi-knocked out, in order to mock Joseph, he plays her... God, what is the lower part of the leg called?
Shin?
Not the shin, on the back side of the leg. Like, kind of the lower equivalent of the thigh. Calf, yeah, the calf. She uses her calves and plays them like a guitar. Just to mock Joseph. Like, Lamau, I got your mentor, asshole. But yeah, that's basically the fight. Cars cheats.
Okay, I see.
BOC.
See. I don't like this one.
Okay, next up, the Nazis arrive. They all have like a fuck ton of UV beams that they like try to fire at him. Or like they're all ready to, but they fired him at like a fuck ton of zombies first. Joseph is here and he's like, "Cars, you fucking cheater!" And then they like fight a whole bunch until eventually the Nazis are like, point the UV lasers at him. And for some reason, I don't know why exactly, Speedwagon appears, Smokey appears again. They're like, "Jojo, hi, hello, we're working with the Nazis now. Don't question that."
What?
Yeah, the Nazis appear.
I'm sorry, but the fucking sudden cut to, and next up, the Nazis.
Yeah, the Nazis are here. The Nazis are like using all the UV lasers to like point at Cars. But this is when Cars somehow pulls it out of his ass. The Redstone of Asia puts in like a special mask. And like I think the light of the UV lasers and the sun coming up is like actively affecting the mask. It pierces him and he becomes the ultimate life form. And that's what the next fight will be with him as the ultimate life form. But yeah, the Nazis appear to help out. That's basically this fight.
The Nazis appeared to create Shadow the Hedgehog. JoJo's amazing.
Yeah. I want you all to know that this part, like this story predates Sonic Adventure 2 and therefore Shadow by over a decade.
So, wait, hold on. I'm gonna. This feels like the time I'm gonna have like a mental call trying to figure this out. So, like, you're telling me that Shadow the Hedgehog has been a JoJo reference the entire time?
Yes, everything is a JoJo reference. Welcome to the real world. Like the
Yeah,
anime
I'd
came out in
say A.
2012, but the manga in 1987, I think it started.
The ultimate life form.
But yeah,
My
what is
fucking
sales ranking?
stand.
A.
Like I said, we're gonna be hearing that letter a lot.
Alright, next up, Cars the Ultimate Life Form. Now, he is now immune to the sun. It no longer kills him. He is now, what else? He can now turn any part of his body into an animal. Like, he can just throw his hand away. It turns into a squirrel that violently attacks people and grow a new hand. He's like, has ultimate strength, ultimate durability and shit. He's really strong overall. He can like turn his arms into wings for funsies. He has like the power of every animal, but like at the ultimate peak and even stronger. He suddenly has Hamon out of nowhere, and yeah, he's basically unkillable. He's basically just undefeatable. I'm hanging on to the other side.
I was about to make a Sonic reference, but you're faster.
That's also a Sonic
he's like
reference.
Sonic.
But right.
Which is also probably a JoJo reference. Oh god, it's all a JoJo.
But right. And Joseph is like, hey Smokey, remember my tactic? What tactic? And he grabs the rock. Smokey! But like he grabs the rock partially to like make cars follow him. And like he gets into a plane. But here's the thing, I don't recall. Joseph has like this backstory as like a 12-year-old or so, where when someone tried to mug him and his, where someone tried leave the Latinas alone. No, we're not getting distracted. Where like in his backstory as like a 12-year-old, where he and his like uncle Speedwagon got like mugged on a plane. Joseph managed to crash the plane in order to stop the people mugging them. But yeah, he has like a history of crashing planes, and he's like on his plane out to distract cars. Cars can grow wings, so he just flies after him. He's like, "What the fuck?" So yeah, eventually, Joseph is like, "All right, I've had enough." And fucks off with the plane. Crashes the plane. For some reason, like the Nazi that was ripped in half, that is a cyborg, is there. They just fall down. They just help me. They just fall into a volcano. That volcano is active, but isn't really about to explode unless someone were to, do something wild like shoot magic sunlight energy into it. So, Rudolf von Stroheim got like, I think he got ripped in half again. And then he's like, Jojo, what the fuck are you doing? And Jojo is like, I have a plan. Jojo did not have a plan. And eventually Cars is there and like they fight. And Cars is like dropped into the lava below them. And they're like on hardened rock. And he's like, Lamau, I got him. And then he just comes through the rock, like cuts through it. Cuts Joseph's arm off. His left arm, I think.
Okay.
And he's like, Lamau, I got this. I'm taking the stone back. And Joseph is like, oh, hell no. So Cars attacks him with hammer. Joseph instinctually holds up the rock, and the rock like intensifies the power of the sun, so it also intensifies Hamon. The Hamon from Cars shoots into the volcano lava. So the volcano immediately erupts. The rock is like shot into the sky. Like Stroheim is just thrown to the side. He somehow survives this. The rock they're standing on is shot into the sky, like really high up, and Cars is like, fuck you, I'm grabbing the rock, I'm flying away. But then, that's when, due to a chain reaction, Joseph's cut off a hand, manages to somehow fly towards him and grab him by the neck. And that's when like a whole and that just distracts him long enough that like a whole bunch of brittle debris from the rock, from the volcano, is just flying towards him and shoots him all the way into space, while Joseph is lucky enough that the rock he's standing on isn't going to space and lands somewhere in the Atlantic, I think? Like somewhere in the White Sea. And everyone thinks he's dead.
We get it, ass.
And also the main opening from part 1 plays.
Okay, we get it. It's an S, man. Relax. We get it.
And that's the final part of fight of part 2. We're 1 hour 14 minutes in. Pretty good pace.
I
These are the
would
two
like to
shortest
say
parts, though.
I would like to. Oh fuck! I would like to say that there was like when you said that some guy came back, it's like remember this technique, and you said that it cut out at the second syllable, so it just sounded like you said the N word on our end.
No, Nazi,
Like
not the N word.
you cut it, like it didn't cut out in the recording because
Yeah.
for it cut. So it sounded like you just you don't remember this technique, do you?
Nigarunda yo, not the N word.
Yeah, it cut out at the second syllable. Like
I mean,
perfectly.
that technique does come back in part 3, and he does just say Nigaru instead of Nigarunda yo.
Oh. I'll be the one to carry on.
But right.
Bud
Part
Light!
3!
Let's go.
Part 3. New protagonist, Jotaro Kujo, thinks he's possessed by an evil spirit, so he locked himself in a jail cell after he severely injured some people in a street fight. Keep in mind, we're now in 1988.
Isn't this where Stans come in?
Yeah, this is where Stans come in. We're now in 1988. He's locked in jail, and his mom is like, hell nah, he's my innocent little boy. So his mom, Holy Joestar, or Holy Kujo, or I think she also calls herself Seiko Kujo, some Japanese name that's also meant to mean holy. She's like, oh hell nah, Daddy, please come over here and get him out of the jail cell. And that dad is Joseph Joestar. He's known old fuck. And Joseph Joestar gets his new gay best friend with him, Muhammad Abdul, who has who stand his magician's red. His power is fire. And he's like, yo, these are stands. You're not possessed by an evil spirit. And Jotaro is like, fuck off, this is an evil spirit. He steals an officer's gun, shoots it at himself, and his stand just instinctively catches the bullet. I mean, that was before, but like, he's like, hell no, I'm not leaving.
Officer's gun.
Yeah, reach for the officer's gun, and Abdul is like, fuck off, get out, and he just like summons this fire. I was about to say persona, his fire stand, and like uses a Retto Bindo to like basically summon fire chains to grab Jotaro, pull him into the sky, and pull him towards the bars so that he's forced to come out of the jail cell. And like they keep fighting until the jail cell breaks, and Jotaro is like, alright, listen here, fuckhead! And he steps out of the jail cell, and that's when Muhammad Abdul turns around and he's like, I won, bitch ass, and Holy just jumps to hug her son, Lamau.
Homie. That then said homie, I was like, homie?
Holy. Holy Joestar.
Hey.
By the way, just we'll probably I don't know if we'll get to part 4 today, but look at this fucking face.
Yeah, let's do like 3 parts per thing since there's like currently 9.
Yeah, this only goes up to part 8. This is the final fight of part 8.
Alright, okay. Hold on, question. Third row to the very left, what are these Eden and Eddie looking characters?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. It's just one episode with a special ending. But right.
A special,
Next up.
That looks like a special.
Next up, like Jotaro got the whole Jotaro got like told about the whole story of Stance, and Dio's back, and we need to kill him, Lamau. But he's like, I don't want to fucking deal with this. So he goes to school. A whole bunch of girls start flirting with him. But there's this guy here, Noriaki Kakyoin. His stand is Hierophant Green. You want to know what it does? Well, so do I. he pulls this ability out of his ass. Like it's probably can be explained. But basically he has like this painting of Jotaro, and he like makes a red slash over Jotaro's leg, and suddenly there's like this red leg has like a slash over it, and it's bleeding and shit. And oh no!
Somehow Palpatine returned.
It's probably just because the actual ability to stand is to like unveil itself, unwrap itself into like lengthy wires, and to be able to shoot emeralds with its emerald splash. So basically, a Minecraft villager's wet dream.
Yeah.
But yeah, he also like possesses a woman at one point, and but yeah, he like Jotaro is wounded, and Kakyoin is like, "Oh, let me help you up, my boy. Let me dap you up. Come on, here, take this handkerchief of mine in order to
Dap me up.
like let me give this handkerchief of mine so now you can tie it up. Let's go to the school nurse." And then like at the school nurse, Jotaro like has to take off his pants because they're ripped apart, and she needs to properly tie the wound up. And I don't recall if he's like in his underwear when this happens, on the bottom half at least he still has on his coat, or if he like wears another set of pants. But then Kakyoin comes back, possesses the nurse somehow. I have no clue how he does that. And Jotaro is like, my Jotaro is 17 years old. He's a high schooler, built like a brick shithouse still. And then he like kisses the nurse to pull the stand out of her mouth, so that she's no longer possessed. I don't know how, but he kisses her so hard that her shirt unbuttons itself.
Huh?
It's weird. But yeah, then eventually Kakyoin comes out and he's like, "We're gonna fight you now." And Jotaro is like, "Fuck you, I'm stronger," and just punches him so hard that it turns out that he has like a flesh bud on his forehead, and the moment and like later it's revealed that this flesh bud controls it's like from Dio to control him, and he pulls it out, and now Kakyoin is an ally, Lamau.
I would put this at a C. Or like a B. The only thing saving it is just the sheer funniness of the fact that a nurse just got such a hard on from the kiss that the shirt was just gone.
Yeah, I think her boobs got bigger in that scene. It's weird.
Huh?
It's a cool fight in execution, but conceptually it's really weird. So don't call me out there.
I'm like zoned out this entire thing, and this is what brings me back.
But yeah, now we need to go for context. Holy is startingly dying from a stand. It turns out that this is because of Dio awakening stands in the Joestar bloodline, because he stole Jonathan's body. So now they're like, we need to go to Egypt. Because Jotaro managed to successfully dox Dio with a beetle. So yeah, they're like, all right, I'm booking a plane because Joseph has a fuck ton of money now. So right, in that plane, they get attacked by this stink bug stand. It's called Tower of Grays, led by an old man, and it's just really fast and kills a fuck ton of people, kills the pilots, and because Joseph Joestar is on the plane fucking crashes. But they do manage to kill the old guy. Like I think they just, Kakyoin manages to like pierce the fucking beetle, rips it in half, and then just the old guy gets ripped in half because all damage on a stand reflects the user. And I don't know if he survives this. But he gets.
I'll be honest, I would have just let him like die with fall damage. Like the plane's gonna crash.
Yeah, but then they would also die.
No, just jump out. Good.
But he could also jump out. But
Dude.
yeah, I mean, they do just leave him bloody on the floor in the plane. But yeah,
I would just let it fucking crash. I wouldn't care.
but yeah, it's a bug on a plane. A beetle.
Snakes on a plane. Snakes on a plane.
What do y'all think? What rank?
A B. I like the B.
B.
That's not a bee. That's a beetle.
Close enough. Welcome back.
Fucking fuck you.
All right, now we're in. I
Fucking.
think Thailand, right? And Mohammed Abdul once again has to be the coolest. So right, there's this new guy, Jean-Pierre Polnareff. He like joins them at the table while they're eating. Talks about table manners in Thailand, I think. And eventually they're like, all right, time to throw down outside. I'm with Dio. And like then you get like it's really awesomely animated. Like there are some scenes where the animators absolutely pop off. The animation gets a lot better even later on. Early on, it's a bit like a slideshow. But like part 4, 5, 6, those are like really cool, have cool animations. And part 3 can pop off at times. And they have like a really awesome duel and shit. And there's not much to say. It's just because part 3 is just a lot of who's stronger, who's cooler. Um, and
Who's the
eventually,
coolest?
it's just and one memorable moment is when like Jean-Pierre Polnareff like tells his whole backstory of I have there's this man with 2 left hands and he killed my sister or something or whatever. No, wait, he tells that later because eventually he like loses and he's like on the floor and Avdol just throws a knife in front of him. Use this dagger to kill yourself and just walks off.
Oh, that's where that's off.
Yeah, and that's when Polnareff is like, "Yo, y'all look cool." His flesh butt gets ripped out because he was also controlled, and this miraculously never happens again. And then he joins the group as well, and he is immediately the clown of the group. Polnareff is a fucking moron, and I love him.
Okay.
So yeah, they adopt a random Frenchman in Thailand.
B.
Um,
Oh, A.
I'll give it an A for the animation.
You did not see the animation. All fights
Yeah,
are
but
really
I'll take
cool
your
in
word
motion.
for it that it's good.
Yeah, I mean, all fights are really well animated. Some are a bit slideshow-esque. Like there's like one in part 5 I have to think of, but like it's a good anime. Right. Next up, we get the fight that could have saved Jotaro's marriage later on in life. In short, they're all on a boat, and they're like, what is this random kid doing here? What is this boy doing here? And the boy turns out to be a girl, but that's kind of irrelevant. She joins the group for a while,
Ah.
but there's like this. They're like, all right, there's a stand user here. I can smell it. And I think Jotaro is like, when stand users smoke, they have like a vein pop out for a millisecond on their nose. It happens. And like all of his friends touch their nose, but also like this one random fake captain touches his nose, and he's like, Lamau, he fucking fell for it, and immediately knows. But yeah, then the fake captain uses his stand, this fish thingy, to kidnap
Fish.
the girl. And then his stand ability is just to breathe underwater and to like be really strong underwater, so he just jumps into water. And eventually Jotaro jumps in, and they fight, but Jotaro is weaker underwater because water resistance shit, and he can't really reach him because the guy can create whirlpools. I think he can just swim really fast. So Jotaro uses a move that could have saved his marriage like 20 years later. Star Finger. Out of nowhere, his stand just pulls the ability out of its ass to like shoot its fingers kind of forward like a gun, just make it really long as a long range attack. And like he can just basically point at someone so hard they get stabbed through the finger.
I see.
How
The
would that
guy
save
that,
the
like-
marriage?
Could have made his wife happier.
Oh,
Ah,
the guy, the girl that looked like a guy reminded me of that one character from. Fuck! It caught me out. The one Ace Attorney character from Dual Destinies. The one, like one of Athena's
Never
friends.
played that.
Fucking- Hold on, I'm gonna find the character. Hold on.
But yeah, what's the ranking on the I pointed at you so hard you got stabbed fight?
Good. Good.
B.
Oh yeah, Robin Newman. Yeah, that's the.
Alright, Span, what's your ranking? Give me a letter!
I say.
You said
Didn't he
good!
say B or something?
That's the one.
No, you said B. Tiebreaker, it's a bit mid. Oh, right, the pedophile orangutan. Right. So they were they were already on a ship, and they're like, all right, we can't use this ship. We gotta. I think the boat got destroyed. I'm not sure. And eventually, they're like, all right, I see this giant ship because they're like on a little safe boat. I see this giant ship. We should get on there. And they get on the ship, and it turns out that the whole ship is a stand. There's this weird orangutan, and it's the orangutan stand even. And the little girl is taking a shower, and the orangutan is being a fucking creep about it. And eventually, just Jotaro beats the orangutan so heavily that it like gets really terrified. And then he just keeps beating the orangutan up because fucking nonsense.
Huh.
And I think he grabs the little girl's tits. I don't recall that. It's weird.
Ah.
People prefer to ignore that this episode exists for good reason. But yeah, he beats the orangutan up real good, and then the boat vanishes, and they just all like Jotaro and crew fuck off on land somewhere else.
For safety reasons, I'm putting this in D.
Yeah.
Well, someone was certainly faking with his D in this episode. All right,
Oh, no.
the orangutan was thinking with it. No one else. To be clear.
By the way, did you loop the video of the sounds?
I did loop it. Never mind.
Oh my god, the face.
It's a weird image. I don't know why it exists anyway.
You were jump scare.
Right.
Hey,
Next up, we get Ebony Devil. They're like in a hotel. Yeah, they're in a hotel, and Polnareff is like, "Wait, something suspicious," and he like finds a man in his fridge and just stabs him with a stand because the stand is like a sword. And the guy is like, "Ha! Now I'm angry. Now I can use my stand to possess this doll." And then Polnareff just fights fucking Chucky. And it's like somewhat bloody and shit. But eventually, I think Polnareff just finds the guy again on a toilet and stabs him. I think, and that's how the fight is won. Like he's trapped under the bed for a while, but they uses mirrors to fight the puppet, and that just tracks the guy down. Lamau.
The puppet.
The puppet. The mimic.
The mama.
But yeah, Chucky.
I would B.
Put in an A for him being on the toilet.
No.
Luna, what do you think?
You know what? Just out of spite, put it in D to spite asteroid.
Put in S despite spam.
Luna, what do you say?
No.
D.
Tiebreaker. Wait. Alright. Next up,
I thought it almost worked.
Yellow Temperance. In short, like Joseph uses his stand, Hermit Purple, weird vines with spiritual energy that can tell the future, I think. Like uses it to use future television, and to television like as like a clip show that someone pulls together a sentence of Kakyoin is going to betray you. And then like Jotaro is with Kakyoin, but Kakyoin suddenly is weird. He like licks cherries and shit. What a weirdo. And eventually,
that's where that comes from.
And then and then Jotaro just punches him so hard his jaw flies off. And then they keep fighting a bit, and eventually, I don't know what the thing is called, like the little on like a rail, these little thingies, these car thingies that like hang on those rails, go up and down mountains. I know. Pokemon Gen 3 has those on the mountain. Hang something. Whatever. They're
You know what you're talking about.
Astro, what
Cable car?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Oh yeah, the cable cars.
I know there was also like an episode of Ben 10 where they appear. But right, on those things, and like on there, Jotaro's in there with like a kid, an old man, and some fat lady, and the fat lady just eventually turns into slime and attacks him, because it turns out that this guy that is attacking him has like a stand that can turn into slime and transform its form. And for some reason he chose to be a woman. He will never emotionally unpack this with a therapist, unfortunately. But right, this is when Jotaro, I think Jotaro like ruins the kid's ice cream or something. I was like, I'm gonna buy you a new one, and that's when he like breaks the floor of the cable car, and he's like, the Kujo family, no, the Joestar family has a secret technique, and that is, and then you see like a vision of Joseph, and that is, and then he just breaks the floor, Nigeru, to run away, jumps through the floor, and then they're like in the ocean, and then like the two guys just fight in the ocean, and Jotaro is just so strong and so cool that eventually the guy is just terrified. And bleeding, and he like tries to get out of the water, and no, he just keeps being punched in something, and eventually he's like punched out of commission, and Jotaro gets like out of the water. I think this is also like one of the last fights where he's called Jojo. Like right around this time, people stop calling Jotaro Jojo, and that's when the Jojos no longer get called Jojo in the story. Um,
I see.
but right, and at that point, he meets a true Kakyoin, who decides to lick a cherry, and Jotaro is just weirded out by it.
Understandably so, I would say.
Yeah.
Snooping
So-
as usual.
So how do we stand about Jotaro Kujo saying the N-word?
If I said A, that would make me sound really the issue.
I mean, he didn't say
also-
it with an A. He said it with the R.
Oh,
Oh yeah, by the way, you will
Oh,
notice
no.
that this part, like part 3, has a very different art style from parts 1 and 2. 1 and 2 were like animated together as one season, and every time, with every part, they just took like a 2-year break or longer, and with that, the art style changed a bit to reflect how the manga looked. Because the manga like changes its art style a lot over the years, because Araki changes a lot as an artist. So yeah, part 4, you see like,
That's good.
especially here, how it's kind of difficult to see often, but Jotaro has like very strong lines on his cheeks. Where can you see
Uh-huh.
it? Kind of. You can't really see it anywhere here. Here, you can kind of see it here. Can I? I'm gonna zoom in real quick. You can kind of see here how Kakyoin has some strong lines on his head, on his cheeks. That here. Those completely vanish in part 4. Like how even Jotaro doesn't have lines on his head here. It's just kind of cool how the art style changes. Then part 5 looks vastly different. Part 6 looks vastly different. Although these are manga panels, lol. So yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Right, next up, the Emperor and the Hanged Man. The Emperor belongs to a guy called Whole Horse. Whole Horse is fucking hilarious. His stand is gun, but he can control the bullet.
Wait, is that the gun paper? Is that the gun paper?
No. That's
That's
part 4. That's part 4, and that stand has nothing to do with guns. That stand is about the paper. And the Hanged Man, I believe, belongs to Jay Guile. Remember the guy with 2 left hands that killed Polnara's sister? It's that guy. Hanged Man can like teleport between reflective surfaces, like mirrors or water or your eyes, which is horrifying because like it's not like a mirror world. He just teleports from reflective surface to reflective surface and then hides in those. Like you can see him in a reflection, not in the real world, but he can still fucking stab you, Lamau. And he basically just hunts down Polnareff. And Polnareff is like, fuck, there's so many reflective surfaces. And eventually Kakyoin just comes in with a car, picks him up. Keep in mind, Kakyoin is 17 and 17-year-old Japanese high schooler. I don't know if he's like able to have a license yet. I don't know what the age in Japan for that is. He just comes in with a car, picks him up, pulls him along, and then they just hunt down the guy that killed Polnareff's sister. Although on the way, like they also fight Whole Horse, and the Whole Horse just fucking shoots Avdol in the head.
I see.
Like Avdol protects Polnareff because Polnareff is super emotional because that's the sister's killer. But yeah, Avdol just like protects him, and then like while getting shot in the forehead by the Emperor, the Hanged Man stabs him in the back, so he falls over too. It's a really shitty situation. And then like while in the car, Polnareff cries about it, and Kakyoin just really like elbows him in the nose. Like, fucker, stop crying. He died for you.
Stop fucking crying, bitch.
Where? I want to fucking hear it. All right. And then they track down the guy, but like he says like, yo guys, I will like he just screams to like a bunch of poor people. I don't know. And he's like, yo, if you attack these guys, I'll give you some money. But here's the thing, or like, wait, no, I dropped some coins here, get him! And then they surround Polnareff and Kakyoin, so they can't directly attack him. But at that point, they kind of know his stand words, and they know how to force him into that like needs to go into a specific reflective surface. Like I think his stand is in their eye or something, and when they close the eye, he needs to go out. So they like throw a coin in the sky.
Ultra kill.
And like close their eyes, force them to go towards that coin because it's semi-reflective. And I think they stamp the coin. I know they certainly. I know he certainly is like trapped in a specific reflective surface, and it got cut into a bajillion pieces, but I don't recall the details. But yes,
Yeah.
Polnareff avenges his sister's murder.
Hell yeah. Anyway, I'd say an fuck, this is tough. A, I think.
AIS.
What do you think, Asteroid?
You know what? S. I like S.
What? I completely zoned out.
Bad.
Hell yeah.
Fair enough. Empress. That was a Joseph fight. I need to check real quick. It is still going. I don't. What the fuck is that image even? But right. The Empress is like a tumor, basically. Joseph gets cancer.
Yeah.
But no, it's like a tumor on his arm. It keeps growing. It keeps attacking him. Like at one point, I think she tries to, punches him a whole lot, and he like tries to counter that with his arm. But keep in mind, his arm got cut off by cars, so he has like a robot arm, and that just isn't quite as strong. So it got like really badly injured, and eventually. He decides to roll around in the sand while fighting with the stand, and he's and like somehow he uses his hamon that he still has to like make a map of the city in the sand. Kira Queen,
Thank
Daisa no
you.
Bakuro, Baitsa Dasto, or some shit like that. But yeah. And he's like, he like marked on that map. He made his own Google Maps. On that map, he marked like a barrel of oil or like tar or
Google
something. He runs towards there, keeps having to deal with this fuck ass stand. Eventually, he just puts his whole arm into this tar or whatever, and thus douses the whole stand in it.
Favorite snack.
The stand just like keeps attacking, tries to shove a rusty nail into his throat, which he can't really resist against anymore because his hand, like his robotic hand, is starting to break. And that's when the tar is like getting really solid, freezing the stand, and he's like, "All right," because they kept kind of having this joke about, "Oh, you need to," because it's like a tumor growing on his arm. "Oh, I'm like your child now, but I'm going too big for you. I will rip you apart, bitch." I don't know. I guess that's the kind of relationship Vivzy Pop had with her father. that was terrible.
Oh my god.
Maybe.
I'll second that.
I don't know. I've decided not to question all the daddy issues in Hell of a Boss and Hazbin Hotel. But anyway. And eventually he's like, "No, you gotta learn to live on your own." And he like ties his vine stand around her, like jumps to the sky, ties his vine against like a roof, and uses that together with Hamon to rip the stand in half. And I think that also kills the user. I don't know. I think a lot of users are just told to be out of commission, but in part 5, these moves would have killed. So,
Definitely. These are murder weapons.
But
and we love murder!
Get ripped in half. The stand user, like far away, also gets ripped in half because Lamau. And that's all.
A or B?
Hey.
Yeah, A. We love it. A.
Okay, next up, this is the one episode I skipped. Not even because it's bad, I just got semi-bored because car. All I know for sure is that at one point, Jotaro is like, hidden underneath the soil, and the car owner is like, "I've won. Part 3 is over." Like I think he literally says that, and then Jotaro is like, "Oh, then who's gonna replace me, Jotaro Kujo, as the protagonist?" And he like comes out of the fucking ground. But yeah, I skipped this episode. I literally don't know.
The
what happens.
Undertaker.
All right, next up, Justice. Remember the guy with 2 left hands?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Also there, I think we got like at most, maybe 40 minutes, 50 minutes, maximum an hour left. But yeah, the guy with 2 left hands. This
What a
stand belongs to her
world
mother,
of
his mother. His mother like
Yo,
runs
mom.
she runs an inn in like an abandoned ghost town, and it's a ghost town because basically everyone is just a zombie she's controlling. Because her stand allows her to like cause a wound, and that wound gets worse through the stand, becomes a gigantic hole then through those holes she controls people. So they're basically just zombies running around. She just uses like scissors to stab people, and then does that. So right.
I see.
What she then does is how do I put this? Okay. They all check in. They don't really trust her. Especially Jotaro doesn't trust her, so they all use like fake names when signing in, so that she doesn't know the real names, kind of to test, will she know the real names? Does she work with Dio? And like the stand does some more shenanigans. Joseph the dumb fuck almost impales himself on a fence.
Good job, idiot.
But right, eventually Polnareff just talks to her like, "Nice lady, right? Nice lady. What a nice lady." And he gets stabbed in the tongue, and she controls him through his tongue, and tries to force him to lick a toilet clean.
Huh?
And he like gets really
That's
close.
Like
He's fighting
by default.
He's fighting it really hard, and eventually Jotaro comes in and like, "Oh, Mr." And the woman is like, "Oh, Mr. Jotaro, I don't know where Polnareff is right now, but don't worry, I'm pretty sure he'll be back right now." And he's like, "How the fuck do you know my name? I wrote my name down as Kyutaro Kujo, not Jotaro Kujo." And he's like, "What the? You did fucking what now?" And it's literally just Kyutaro. Like literally just
Fucking Q-Bert ass name, dude.
literally, I just wrote it in chat.
Yep.
It's stupid. But yeah, and eventually his stand, Star Platinum, develops the ability of sucking air really hard, and because it's like a semi-air based stand, he just sucks in the stand, and she just implodes. And Polnareff is saved from having to lick the toilet.
Kirby. No, it's reverse
Yeah.
Kirby.
Right. Uh-huh.
So
That was A noise.
to be.
Thank you, Stand.
B.
Alright, next
Yeah,
up,
B.
we have an episode
I
that for
agree on
some reason
B.
a friend of mine skipped, The Lovers, but it's a really fun fight. Overall, the stance gimmick is like, I'm gonna
Isaac?
put my stand into your brain, and any damage I take gets reflected onto you like tenfold. Like he can crack his knuckles, and it feels like to the person affected, like their fingers are being broken. It only feels like it. It's not actual damage, but you know they can fly back. They just don't start bleeding. And he's like, "All right, you can't fucking hurt me. Fuck you, Jotaro. You're with me now." And Jotaro's like, "All right, fucking hell. Guess I gotta spend time with this guy that I can't fucking punch, no matter how much of an asshole he's." And, you know, he like forces Jotaro to humiliate himself. Otherwise, you know, he'd crack his knuckles and severely injure Jotaro's grandpa Joseph.
That's fun.
So, you know, he forces Jotaro to rob a jewelry store. He forces Jotaro to like become a bridge for him that he walks on. Just generally humiliates Jotaro. You know, this video has like a lot of Killer Queen sound effects. I'm starting to think Killer Queen has already
We can
touched
find
that video.
something else.
Anyway. But right, well, Jotaro is like forced to deal with this fucking shithead of a guy. Kakyoin and I think Avdol are like using Joseph's... Yeah, oh yeah, right. No, not Avdol. Avdol is dead. Kakyoin and Polnareff are like working with Joseph. Joseph is like using his ability to look into his brain. Surprisingly enough, he does have one, and he's like figuring out, all right, this is where the stand is, and like Kakyo and Polnareff for some reason are able to turn their stand tiny, and the stands like go into Joseph's brain and like defeats the lover stand, and it retreats. And this is when like the guy Steely Dan, or localized Stand of Steel, because Steely Dan is a musician. He's like, oh shit, oh I'm fucked. And Jotaro's like, oh, I can punch him now. And this is when we get the 3-page order. Like, for 3 pages of the manga, Jotaro did nothing except punch this guy. Half Brain, yeah. Yeah, in part 3, we start with stands being named after tarot cards. But later on, we changed into Egyptian gods, and then we changed to music references. But yeah.
Okay.
This was the lovers' fight.
B or A.
Yeah. I agree with
Yeah,
that.
speaking of tarot cards, just to quickly talk about it. Again, Hangman, Emperor, Magician, Star, Chariot, Temperance, Empress, Lovers, Hierophant, Tower. I don't know if Tower of Grace. I think it's just Tower. Dark Blue Moon is the stand, so Moon. Ebony Devil, so Devil. Justice, and Strength. Those are the tarot cards we've had so far. Alright, next up we have the Sun. In short,
the sun.
Literally just the sun, yeah. This guy's ability is the sun. It affects him as well, so he needs to hide himself from it. It's just a really powerful sun in the desert. It's fucking horrid. So this group hides under a rock, and eventually they see in the distance like 2 identical rocks, like they look like they've been mirrored. And everyone except Joseph is just laughing hysterically. Like he thinks they've all lost their minds. He's fucking terrified.
I understandably so. I think.
Yeah, and eventually, they realize, oh, that is an actual mirror. We just need to attack the mirror, and then the fucking stand vanishes. So yeah, they just shoot a rock towards the mirror, and the sun vanishes, and they win. Lamau. And to this day, it is a meme. It is a very big meme in the community. When you see 2 identical rocks, that you have to laugh.
2 identical rocks that you, huh?
Yeah, if you see 2 identical rocks, you have to laugh.
But what if I don't wanna?
Tough shit.
Oh shit.
All right, now give me a ranking.
B.
B.
Fair. It is not particularly spectacular. It's mostly just that one meme. All right, Def 13. Y'all know Freddy Krueger, right? This is Freddy Krueger. They're on a plane again, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but they have a baby with them. And because Joseph Joestar is on a plane, the plane fucking crashes. And somehow it's the baby's fault. Because this is the baby stand. And then, in the desert, they all sleep for the night. And the baby just causes them all horrid nightmares. And it turns out that if you get wounded in a nightmare, you have a wound IRL. But whenever they wake up, they forget about everything that happened. But, they can die in the dream. So it's bad. And eventually, Kakyoin realizes it. Somehow is able to summon his stand in the dream. Because, like, the Death 13 disables stands. But yeah, he's just able to do it. And it just hides in the ear of the stand. And the baby is like, oh, fuck. Oh, ew. And lets them all out. And everyone except Kakyoin forgets.
For the ew.
But eventually Kakyoin gets his revenge. He can't just kill the baby or even actively beat it up, but what he can do is take the baby's shit, take a little chunk of it, drop it into the soup, mix that all up, and feed that soup to the baby, and the baby is not able to say anything about it.
What the fuck?
What the fuck did I come back to?
Yeah, he feeds the baby shit. Like, he feeds the baby its own shit.
Man, fuck them kids.
What the fuck am I listening to?
It's what did you expect?
Yeah, so that was the
It is
definite
Not
called
teen
a
this.
fight.
bizarre adventure. And this really was a bizarre adventure.
I
So
will
what's y'all's
fucking
ranking?
kill you, man. I mean,
As
the
for shit.
no, no. Fucking the the
Yeah.
I'm taking B as an average.
all right.
Alright, next up, Judgment. Aladdin, basically. It's just like, I'm gonna grant you a bunch of wishes. But it's just a monkey's paw. So like Polnareff is there and it's like, I wanna see my sister, I wanna see Avdol. And they're just horrid
And
fucking
get
zombies,
shot.
and that pisses Polnareff off. So they fight, and eventually, like, it gets the zombies are too much for Polnareff. But then the real Avdol just appears. He was alive this whole time, but now he loves to party.
Okay.
Um,
Somehow Palpatine returned. What the fuck?
yeah, it turns out that when he was stabbed in the back and fell over, it meant that the bullet to his head only scraped him. It didn't actually pass through his body.
Okay.
I died, but I lived.
Yeah, but then they fight together, beat the stand, and then realize the user is like buried underground using an air pipe, an air tube to like breathe. And then like Polnareff is like, "Fuck you!" He like drops bugs in there. He drops sand in there, spiders,
Saddam
and eventually
Hussein.
Avdol is like, "Dude, let's piss in it."
Dude, let's piss in the hole.
Yeah, so
Let's
yeah, they
finish
piss
it.
in it, and the guy is forced to drink it, and eventually they dig him out and beat him
Oh.
up.
Saddam Hussein. Holy shit.
But yeah, that was the judgment fight.
As for piss straw.
No. Stop. Strangles you and kills you. Stop
As for
it.
strangling.
No.
As for strangling piss straws.
No. That's the title idea.
Oh, ew. Alright, give me your rankings, yo.
Fucking.
B.
Yeah. I agree.
Alright. They have
I must
nearly
type
identical
title
poses.
idea.
Alright. High Priestess. Now that Avdol's back, they're all like in a submarine, and Joseph is calling his wife to assure her that he's not cheating on her. He isn't anymore. And now they're suddenly attacked by the High Priestess, who during the attack, the boat is U-boat is sinking, but Polnareff and Kakyoin do a fucking bro handshake and like talking weird code about how your underwear is showing.
What the
But yeah, they do a sick ass handshake. Everyone gets out of the U-boat, and then suddenly this fucking thing attacks them inside, and it comes outside. It becomes big, and it like eats them and traps them. And like, my teeth are like diamond, and diamond is unbreakable. And Jotaro is just so cool that he punches through the teeth, and then they just find the woman controlling the stand on top of the like back on land when they're outside of the water. They're no longer under the water. Please help me. So they just
Imagine going to
they
the
just beat
dentist
up
after
Lily.
that. Like,
What happened to your teeth?
Like,
I got punched. Someone punched your teeth in? No, they punched my teeth out.
what did you do?
I got hungry.
It's like your dentist looks at you. Is like, if they punched your teeth out, you probably deserved it.
But yeah, that's the stand fight. High Priestess.
Me
This
when
is
my
true.
priestess is very high. Please kill me.
Can nuns smoke weed?
Maybe.
I mean, they'll probably be fucking killed for it, but you know.
You will be killed for it.
Killer
Give me a
blood
ranking.
rotation.
Killer
Uh,
blunt rotation.
Nightmare blunt. Hey, blunt.
The blunt
Bish.
fight. Alright, I
Nuns
have no
smoke
fucking
weed.
clue what this is.
All right.
I mean, wait, no, this is the introduction of
Almost
the
an Ed
last.
and an Eddie.
It is the introduction of the last party member they get, a dog named Iggy. His stand is the Fool. And I think he at first just fucking attacks the group. Like, he gets brought in through a helicopter, and he like jumps onto Polnareff's head, like chews his hair, farts in his face, and he also loves to chew coffee gum for some reason. And yet it's just like an introduction of like he attacks
Deploy
the
the
group.
dog.
Yeah, he attacks the group, and
Like the Freddy Five Night.
the group adopts him. Polnareff hates him though.
It's like you kicked their asses. Come here.
Nah, he didn't kick their asses. I think Jotaro kicked his ass. I don't recall exactly the details.
The dog.
I'm fucking up the dog.
I'm
I'm
absolutely
fucking the dog.
destroying.
But yeah, it's just an introduction, basically.
Lame, see.
Alright. Then there's Geb. Now we're starting to get stands named after Egyptian gods.
Gabe. Oh my god, is that Gabe?
Gabe Newell.
Gabe Newell.
Not every guy with glasses you see is Gabe.
Hi, this is Gabe.
But yeah, this is a
Oh,
blind guy, and he has like this water stand. He shoots through the desert in order to echolocate people. And he finds the group, and they like have to hide on top of a jeep or something, because he manages to like even kill the people flying the helicopter before that brought the dog. And it just gets really fucking difficult because the moment they're on sand, he can find them and like violently kill them with his water stand. So they hide on the jeep. They try to like jump from thing to thing, and eventually,
Lost lava.
yeah, it's basically the floor is lava. And eventually, like, he manages to blind Kakyoin, who's now out for like almost the rest of the part.
Nice.
And at the end, Jotaro manages to find the ultimate power. He throws the dog at him.
This is the ultimate power.
Yeet! But yeah, throws the dog at Endul, the master of the stand. Which, you know, since he can only detect the ground, he can't fucking tell that the dog is being thrown at him, even with the gigantic sandstone it's summoning. And eventually, you know, Jotaro catches up to him, and the guy shoots the stand through his own brain. In order to kill himself, but then he still somehow manages to definitely live long enough to tell him about the incoming fights. And like, oh, there are 9 Egyptian gods. I'm one of them.
Let me spoil you on the rest of the part.
So yeah, that. So yeah, that ends up going not particularly well. He kills himself, and Jotaro is like, "Man, fuck this dog."
No.
Dog throwing.
I'm fucking dead.
Okay, so I will say that we put this at a nice solid A. And now we are at Ed, and Eddie.
All right. In
Why
short,
does
this
the
is not an
picture
actual
look like
fight.
the I'm
Here we
doing
have
the horse meme?
here we have the stands Fuff and Knum. Fuff is like a book that tells the future. Knum lets the stand user. They're named Oingo and Boingo, by the way. Boingo has Fuff, and Oingo has, with Knum can like reshape his face into any form. It also changes his voice. Also, Luna, we're hearing sound effects for your thingy. Speaking of sound effects,
why?
yeah, this is still going.
What the fuck?
And then, alright, and they can like reshape their face, and they want to use that to like, and because the future tells them, hey, Jotaro is going to fucking explode and get his head ripped apart. So they like create a fake orange with a bomb in it, and try and like
There's a bomb.
And the guy with the with Knum, Oingo, he like disguises himself as Jotaro and comes to the group, and Polnareff is like, dude, do that thing you did. That thing I did? Yeah, the thing you did. And then he's like forced to stuff 5 cigarettes in his mouth and like convert them so the burning tips are like near his throat.
Huh?
And he's fucking horrified at that.
100 cigarettes.
And he does his best to not eat the orange because, he doesn't want to get fucking blown up by it. But eventually, he gets away from the group. Polnareff throws the orange out of a window. The guy steps on the orange and he fucking explodes. And the group does not realize that they were fighting two guys. Like at the end of it's revealed that the prediction of Jotaro's head exploding was actually the prediction of Oingo's head exploding while he looked like Jotaro. Because it's a manga.
Oh.
So yeah, these are just two idiots that killed themselves accidentally. Well, the younger brother is still alive and will return, but the older one fucked up big time.
Boingo. He boinked his last O.
No, Oingo oinked his last O. The Boingo will come back.
Boinked his last O.
But
I
yeah,
hate how they
the
look.
reason they look like
make
this
me
is because this is
uncomfortable.
the art style of the book.
It's uncomfortable and I hate it.
Yeah, but now rank the fuck ups.
I'll give it an S because they look stupid and I love them.
B.
S, B, and
B.
Fuck.
B it is. Alright, next up we have three fights that
B
belong
for
together. The next stand is Anubis. It's a sword that can possess whoever's holding it. So yeah, here's this random guy.
Straight up fucking Anubis. Okay.
Yeah, straight up, this random guy that like attacks others with it. I think he fights Polnareff for a while. But Polnareff just uses a stand. The stand can throw off its armor to be faster, and they have like a cool sword fight. And I think Polnareff beats him temporarily, but he doesn't quite understand how the stand works yet, so he thinks it's just a random guy with a sword attacking him for some fucking reason.
Fair enough. I would assume that as well.
So yeah, that's that.
Pretty uneventful B.
Yeah, because it leads right into the next one. Polnareff is now at a barber trying to get a haircut or like a shave. And the barber is holding the sword, so now all of a sudden he has to deal with the fact that this fucking barber is trying to shave him with a deadly weapon. And they fight a little bit until eventually Polnareff is made to hold the sword. And that's where this fight ends and the next one begins.
Awesome.
C.
See.
C, yeah. See these nuts all over your face.
Alright, now, Polnareff has the sword, and so he gives it to his stand, and now his stand has two swords, and Jotaro comes by for some fucking reason. And he's, and like the two are like, alright, let's fucking throw hands now. And Jotaro's so cool, he punches harder than this guy can swing two swords.
My OC is so cool, guys. He can punch a sword so hard that he can punch a sword.
Yeah, actually, Anubis' sword got kind of broken.
Holy shit.
And eventually, at the end of the fight, since, you can't kill him, since his stand user has been, like, dead for ages, it's just a living stand now, Jotaro just throws it to the bottom of a lake, and then it's trapped down there. Forever.
Mafia treatment.
Except Anubis
Sleeping
can't
with
die.
Yes. Oh, so it's just eternal torture. That's fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing happens with Cars in part 2. He's shot into space, and then he's just frozen up there and stops thinking eventually. Similar situation.
Eventually. Or stop thinking.
Wish that could happen to me.
Yeah. So yeah.
Why?
I can arrange that.
So yeah,
I
give
mean,
me a
that's pretty
ranking.
cool. The mafia treatment definitely puts it at A.
Yeah,
Yeah.
When we end part 3, can we stop with this?
Yeah, obviously. That's what we'll
that
do.
was the plan.
Yeah, we only have
Okay.
this one row of fights left. Alright, next up, the gay
One
sex stand.
row.
Alright, everyone
Oh my
say
god,
Gex.
that's
Gex.
where from.
Say Gex.
S.
S.
Gex.
X.
Gex.
S.
Fantastic. Alright, in short, Jotaro, Joseph, the old man that he is, manages to somehow accidentally rizz up an old lady, and he's like, nah, dog, I'm married, I'm out of here. He like walks away and eventually realizes that he's magnetized by her, like literally the metal she's wearing is being magnetized towards him, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And he realizes because he touched a weird outlet. I think he touched an outlet on a rock, or somewhere he touched an outlet
on
that
a
he
rock.
shouldn't have. No, the rock
Why
is
is
later.
there an
The rock is
electrical
later.
outlet
He
on
touches
this
an
rock?
outlet that he shouldn't have, and that touching that outlet makes it so that he's severely magnetic. And he like gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And eventually, he's like in an escalator, and he's like trying to turn it off because if he doesn't, like him being magnetized, will eventually lead to him being like stuck to it while it's going down, and he'll get severely injured, maybe killed. Ugh.
Yeah.
And he tries to turn it
No,
off,
fuck
and
off
somehow
with that.
touches the thing again, and it gets stronger. But then Avdol comes by, turns off the escalator, and they go out, chase after the woman. Avdol also somehow touches the thing, and they're both magnetized, and they start being magnetized to each other and to the whole bunch of kids watching. It looks like they're having gay sex. First oral,
So that's
then
where
anal.
that's from.
And eventually, they're trying to find the woman, chasing her down. The old lady is somehow back, and also the old lady like sees the two having say gex, and she's like, "You motherfucker!" Even though he never tried to lead her on in any way. It's wild. And eventually, they find the lady, and they have like a whole bunch of metal to them, including cars, and they get pulled towards each other, but she's in between. So eventually, she gets crushed between the whole bunch of metal they have on their bodies, like between cars and shit. And that's how they beat her.
that's
Also, there's like
fun.
one moment when she reveals herself, and Joseph is still magnetized. She has like a small piece of metal in her brow or something, and it flies towards him, and it makes her boobs look big, and then his eyes pop out of his body.
Okay, hold on. Mask
Ooga.
gif. The mask gif. Hold on.
No, not like that. He's more shocked.
There
But
we
like,
go.
it's literally this.
That's him right now. That's
Like,
him
him
right
went
now.
booba.
That shit just. Ow. This is the first stupid thing to ever happen in this episode. It's been straightforward so far, but now we're getting into the mood
I mean, it's
where we're
Steak X. What can you say?
It's
a
Gex. But right.
Yeah.
What rank do we
S.
give to
Yeah.
K6?
S.
Alright, time for
S
another
for Psych
pedophile
X.
stand. Alright,
D.
P.
P for pedophile.
Why?
Next up, we get Polnareff, who's being followed by this guy, and Polnareff doesn't realize that he needs to jump away and not get touched by his shadow. But he gets touched by his shadow, immediately jumps away, and he's turned into a 7-year-old or something. Loses a stand, and he's being chased around. And all the stand does is turn people younger. But the guy has an axe. So he gets chased with the axe, and eventually they do like a Here's Johnny reference, I think. But eventually,
D.
Polnareff is being picked up by a woman that he finds attractive because he's still mentally somewhat a 20-something-year-old, even if he forgets everything he knew past 7. But he knows he's supposed to be like 20. But yeah, then eventually the woman is also gotten by the stand, and she's turned into a fetus, and it's like, oh god, we have barely any time now before she will die because, she's a fetus outside of a womb.
Oh.
So eventually, like, the guy with the stand is outside again. Jotaro comes by again. He keeps being pulled into Polnareff's bullshit. I feel like this is the third time alone. Like, first we had Justice, then we had Anubis, and now we had fucking Sephin, I think is the stand called.
Sephiroth.
But yeah, then eventually Jotaro is also touched by the shadow when he turns young. Also loses his stand. Wait, no, Polnareff still has a stand, but it's just really weak. But like, Jotaro loses it entirely. But then just 8-year-old Jotaro is strong enough to just punch the shit out of this old guy. And that just knocks him back, knocks him out for like a second. So it deactivates the stand, and then Jotaro and Polnareff are adults again. Or like, Jotaro is 17 again, Polnareff is an adult again. And they stand in front of him, and then they just like summon their stance, and they just punch the shit out of him and stab the shit out of him. And
I want to
eventually,
die, I assume.
and eventually Polnareff is like, "Damn, what you did to that woman is fucked up." Even if like for a second, she comes back to him and it looks like there was some romantic spark. He's like, "Hell nah, what the fuck?" And because just be weird, and he fucks up. He leaves like an earring of his with her. He has like these broken heart earrings, half a heart on each side, and he leaves one with her. Um, and then he and the group leave, and this happened like concurrently with the other fight. So basically, everyone had weirdly sexual experiences except Jotaro, and Iggy was just somewhere else. Iggy was just not vibing with all this.
Fair.
No pictures.
But yeah, pedo stand. What do y'all think?
D. Without
B.
hesitation.
C.
D.
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 C it is.
D for dick.
What do you mean C? We all said D.
Nah, Luna didn't. Luna said B originally, but fine,
Luna was-
D. Alright.
We put
Next
all
we get to
pedophiles at
my
D.
favorite fight in part 3. Because it's less a fight and more a poker match.
Oh, that one.
cares?
Yeah, we get
Exodia,
the
the forbidden one.
Impossible! But yeah, in short, they're like at this bar and they know they need to find Dio. Time is running out, and they ask for it. Ask for a specific his mansion because they have an image of it and nobody knows. But this guy's like, "I'll tell you if you win a gamble." And I think he like first plays against. No, not against you, Joseph. I think he plays against Joseph second. I think first he plays against Polnareff, and there's like, guess if the cat goes right or left. Polnareff guesses right or something, I think, but like Darby cheats. He's in control of the situation. He's like, cat go left, and the cat goes left, and then he like takes Polnareff's soul. Because Polnareff lost the bet.
POV League of Legends.
Yes. And then and then also he plays against Joseph, and Joseph has like his own form of gambling, specifically like filling a glass of water to the brim and just putting coins in it until it overflows, until the surface tension breaks. And they both cheat, but Darby cheats better. Long ass sound effect. But yeah, then eventually it's just Jotaro. You know, there's Avdol is with him. Kakyoin is someone else, and eventually Jotaro is like, "All right, let's play poker." And he's like, "I bet my soul. I bet Avdol's soul." And like keeps saying that Darby needs to give more souls. Like Darby bets Polnareff, Darby bets Joseph, Jotaro bets himself and Avdol, and eventually like Jotaro doesn't even look at his fucking cards. Well, Darby has like paid the kid that's giving the cards in order to cheat again. And still not looking at his cards, Jotaro just raises, "Hey, you need to tell me where it is. That's your bet. My bet is Kakyoin's soul, who's like somewhere else." And I wonder how that felt for Kakyoin afterwards, hearing about that.
It's like, holy shit, I almost died.
And I was in the hospital with that. Yeah. And then eventually, he once again raises to, "I give you my mother's soul. Now you need to tell me the weakness of Dio Stand." And then he just like is so cool. He bluffs so hard that he gives Darby a heart attack.
Exotic.
Yeah, it's just the bluffing like genuinely makes Darby start to tweak out, and then he has like a frothing at the mouth, and then he's beaten Lamau.
S.
He mogged so hard it gave him a heart attack.
Yeah, and then Joseph and Polnareff come back.
Astro, do you have the Exodia clip, please? Please just send it.
No.
Like, does anyone have the Exodia clip? I don't have it. I don't have Exodia.
All right. Next up, we got Boingo is back now with Whole Horse. Oh yeah, Whole Horse was also in the Justice arc, but he was barely relevant. But yeah, now these two are working together to beat Jojo's group, and basically, I think they almost shoot themselves for a second. And like eventually Whole Horse has like a gun on Polnareff, and Polnareff is like trying to somehow point it out to everyone without saying it and getting shot. And he like is trying to point with his fucking tongue and it turns into an arrow. Wait,
Huh.
let me see. Polnareff.
Exodia, the Forbidden Moon.
He just tries really hard to point with his tongue because he can't fucking say it. It's fucking wild. And eventually, I think Polhorse just gets shot by himself. I'm not sure how it ends. All I know is that like they once again fuck up tremendously. I think because they fuck up the timing of a clock. I don't know. All I remember is this one clip of just Polnareff severely pointing with his tongue.
Uh-huh.
I guess I could put this one in Curse of Mario, but yeah, me. Alright, next time we get another highlight. This is Pet Shop, the bird. And I don't recall what exactly the stand is called. So something. He can create ice, right? Lots and lots of ice. Right, not lots and lots of, but a good bit. He's really strong with it. And he's fast, he's a bird, he's a falcon, yada yada. And because he's an animal, he fights the other animal, Iggy, and they have like a really cool animal fight. Like they go to the sewer. Like first off, Iggy is like looking after a guy that's trying to find Dio's mansion. The guy gets killed by Pet Shop, and Iggy realizes that, and then they start fighting a bit. And then Iggy gets chased by Pet Shop. They go down to the sewers, fight there. Iggy like manages to like injure him a little, but he does lose his front right paw, I think, in the fight. He keeps running, and eventually they're outside of the sewer again, and then like the big finale happens where Pet Shop once again tries to like shoot ice at him. Like he opens his beak, shoots ice at Iggy, like giant icicles, and Iggy just fucking jumps towards him, bites down on his beak. And just forces him to destroy his own beak with the ice. And that's when Pet Shop is thrown out of commission. And it's like just a... And also in this fight, suddenly Iggy gets a major redesign and goes and basically starts mogging too.
Even the dog's mogging.
Yeah, everyone in part 3 mogs.
Holy shit.
How many do we have left?
4 fights.
Just mog through the rest of its span.
Alright, next up we get the second Darby, the younger one. This one is about video games instead of gambling. Jotaro and crew are like at the mansion. Jotaro, Joseph, and Kakyoin are forced to go into the video game dimension. And down there, like, first off, it's like Kakyoin, like, I'm so good at video games. And he plays a Mario Kart against Darby. And I think Darby cheats, like this Darby also
Mario
cheats.
Kart?
Huh?
Like actually Mario.
Not actual Mario Kart, just a kart
Kart?
racer, but just a racing game. But you know, Mario Kart Lamau.
If it was Mario Kart, that would have been fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but then they right, and eventually, like instead of turning a soul to chips, forgot. Between the Pet Shop fight and this fight, Kakyoin came back, and now he has like cool sunglasses and scars.
Awesome.
Yeah, but yeah.
Now he's mogging.
Yeah, everyone's mocking. Everyone is mocking. That's the title idea.
Everyone is mogging.
But right, that is... Yeah, Darby cheats again. This Darby also cheats, and he turns Kakyoin's soul into a doll. And then Jotaro plays against him again, but you know Jotaro can't bluff his way through a video game. So what happens instead? Joseph uses his what's it called? His stand that can control technology in order to cheat at video games for his grandson.
Billy Mitchell.
And that
I thought we're gonna cheat.
Yeah. And that's like through this cheating, that's how Jotaro wins against Darby in a baseball game. And then for some reason Darby can read souls, like the younger Darby. So he reads the solos, and they always say yes, 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 or no, 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 and I think that's part of how he cheats. Then at the end, he's like, you're not gonna punch me too hard, right? No, 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 no. Just punch me once with the right one. No, 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 no. Just punch me once with the left one. No, no, no. You're gonna punch me with both? Yes, 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 yes. Are you gonna go order on me? Yes, yes, yes. Oh my God! Like that's when Joseph comes in, just mocking it.
Oh
And
my
yeah, then he gets beaten,
God.
and then he gets beaten bloody, and all the
Oh,
souls from the puppets are released.
bro.
That's funny.
Nah.
FNAF.
What's the ranking of the video game battle?
I will say
AIS.
is good. It's. I'll give it an A. And I was gonna say S, but like because I love the idea that the fate of the entire
Curses
shell.
ban.
Like,
Next level curses ban. I can
personally
barely
love
hear
the-
you anymore.
Hello?
Yes?
Hello?
Yes?
Can you hear me now? Is it good?
Yeah.
No.
What do you
Yeah, I
mean
can't
no?
hear. I can't
Hold
hear
on.
you at all. Actually, no, I
What
can't
the-
hear you. No, no, I can hear you.
Stan, are you there?
Man, fuck you.
But yeah, elaborate on your reasoning.
Okay. I was gonna say that I find it really funny that the fate of an entire battle.
Curses
you
ban.
Mike again.
Write it down.
I'm
Write
going
it
to
down.
kill myself.
Write it down instead of stage text. I don't think the sentence is gonna work.
All right.
Luno Astrid, what do you say?
A. Oh, S.
Hey.
All right, A it is.
A because funny.
Fucking blue shell. All right, next up, we get the tone shift of the series where suddenly people start dying. Vanilla Ice with the stand named Cream, basically it just eradicates space. So yeah, while Jotaro, Joseph, and Kakyoin play video games, Polnareff, Avdol, and Iggy say, "Hey, let's go inside the mansion." And right before this fight, Vanilla Ice decided to kill himself for Dio, like cut his own head off. Dio was like, "I'm gonna give you my blood," and turn him into a vampire. So vampires are back from part 1 and 2.
We're so fucking back.
So yeah, Vanilla Ice, he can hide himself completely in the stand and turn basically invisible. And you know, if he goes through someone, they just get erased. So yeah,
Nice.
he hides, and Avdol just barely realizes that he is there until he gets attacked, and is just nothing but his arms are left. Like, yes, very right. He is a son of a bitch. Thank you, Joseph. Avdol fucking dies just instantly, and at
Uh-oh.
that point,
How unfortunate.
Polnareff is just fucking traumatized, and Iggy has to deal with that shit too. But yeah, it
Dog
kind
has to
of
deal with it.
they just have to deal with that because, you know, the guy is still attacking and still very deadly. You know, he just chases them through the mansion. They don't know how to fight back because he can just hide, and if they try to touch him with an attack, it just erases them. So yeah, he just manages to like take some fingers and some toes from Polnareff, erase those, and they're like being hunted down in like a big ass room until eventually Polnareff is about to be attacked, because while he's hiding he can't see. So he just like goes through the entire room to find Polnareff, and he's like right in the middle, so he's about to be killed. But then Iggy, and he's like, "Iggy, you have to go. Tell the others about this." Like a dog can fucking speak. But then Iggy uses the last of his power to defend him. And like right as the dog dies, like when Elias gets so pissed off because of like disrespect or something, that he just keeps kicking the bleeding dog. And this, and because, you know, the dog has went from someone Polnareff hates to a good friend of Polnareff's, he like gets really angry and he attacks, and eventually like it looks like Polnareff's about to die, but then he just breaks the walls, and then the world realizes, and then everyone realizes, oh right, vampire, and he just Vanilla Ice just dies because of the holes in the wall that he actually made himself before he erased the wall. And the sun just gets his ass. Lamau.
No.
GG's, I guess.
A, I'd say.
Ooh. We love a good bit of.
Alright.
Oh no, bro.
Alright. Now we are at the Dio fight. In short, it starts with I'm gonna go only minor
One
background
thing,
details
I
until we
don't
get to
know why.
specifically Kakyoin against Dio. But right. First off, we have Polnareff looking at Dio, like Dio's at the top of the stairs. Polnareff is taking a few steps up. Dio does something mysterious. And suddenly Polnareff is at the bottom of the stairs again, like that was Mario fucking 64. Right. And then everyone else comes back from playing video games and they're like, yo, Polnareff, where's the rest of us? And he's like, they're fucking dead.
Doofus.
So yeah, everyone is pissed off at Dio, and they chase him down, try to find where he is. Eventually,
They try to
like,
dox him.
but because they can't figure out a stand ability, it's time stop. They can't figure out a stand ability. They run away, go outside, and they have to fight in the whole city of Cairo. Very true, Jotaro.
Chiropractor.
They have to fight in the whole city of Cairo at night. So you know,
Dio,
eventually,
you were a little late there, but we appreciate it.
so yeah, eventually, Jotaro and Polnareff are kind of MIA, but Kakyoin and also just kind of following Dio on a motorcycle, but Dio is following Kakyoin and Joseph, who are swinging around with their stance like they're fucking Spider-Man. And eventually, they're trying to like attack him, and Kakyoin is like, "Oh, you can't beat this, asshole!" Like, just fucking creates a 20-meter radius, vines everywhere, so you could tell where any movement is. And then he just shoots emeralds. There's emerald splash from fucking everywhere.
Fucking village's wet dream, like we said.
And by attacking from fucking everywhere, he's supposed to like be able to kill him. But then Dio uses time stop, deflects all the emeralds because time stop, rips through the vines because time stop, and just comes closer to Kakyoin and uses his stand to punch him through the torso, like donut his ass. And yeah, through that, once time resumes, Kakyoin is forced to fly away. Like, for Joseph, keep in mind, this all happens instantaneously. Like, first Kakyoin attacks and then suddenly flies away with a hole in his torso. And Kakyoin, with his last moments, realizes, oh shit, he can stop time! That's why I couldn't tell any movement.
It's like, oh.
And then, in order to give Joseph the clue, in order to figure this out, he like uses the last of his power, the very last, he gets like all the flashbacks. No, Half Brain, he can only stop time for 5 seconds. Dio can stop time for 5 seconds. But yeah, that's when Kakyoin is like, alright, he shoots like one last emerald splash towards the nearby clock tower to break the clock, to like make kind of clear it's a time-related ability. Because, you know, he's dying, he can't speak, he can't shout, he can't do much more. And then he fucking dies. Like, in a water tower, and Joseph screams, not sobbing this time, but once again seeing someone close die. An ally, important ally. Like Caesar before.
Wait, so if an ability to stop time for 5 seconds specifically, isn't that just chaos control?
Yes. But, you know,
okay.
Like I said, predates Sonic Adventure 2 by a decade.
So it's all fucking connected. I'm going
It's all a JoJo reference.
Everything is a JoJo reference.
Everything is a JoJo reference.
My mom is a JoJo reference.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah. What do you all rank Kakyoin's sacrifice?
S.
AIS. Probably S.
A.
S it is.
Right.
And now the final battle, Jotaro versus Dio. Holy shit, there's a JoJo reference.
Boom, boom, boom.
But right, now we have the final battle, Jotaro versus Dio. Joseph chases down Jotaro to tell him this secret behind the world because he's realized it, time stop. And he's like, Jotaro, the secret of the world is time, he can stop time. And that's when Dio appears behind him, stops time, kills a cat, hurts some civilians, and then decides, alright, I need to kill Joseph. How? I can't touch him, he has Hamon. I'm gonna throw a knife at his throat. And then, suddenly Joseph just fucking bleeds out because of it.
Good job, I guess.
But Jotaro has understood what it means, and then they start fighting. They start coming closer to each other. They start throwing hands. Their stands start throwing hands.
Like, joke's on you, Dio. I learned the gimmick.
Yeah. And here's the thing, because Dio describes himself as like super strong, super fast, Jotaro's like, so it's the same type of stand as Star Platinum. Wonder if there's any other similarities. But yeah, they start fighting, and for some reason, as they keep punching each other, they start fucking floating in the air, like they're ascending. Like, I don't know why it's animated like that, but in the anime, it looks like they're fucking flying, while the manga more implied that they're jumping around with the power of their stands.
Fucking Pizza Tower ending part, like at the end of the game.
But yeah, they just float around, they fly around for some fucking reason, chase each other through the whole of Cairo, and eventually, Dio stops time a few times. Jotaro can fucking twitch and stop time. Dio has a panic attack, and he just throws a fuck ton of knives at him. Jotaro tries to reflect a lot of them with a stand, fucking fails, gets stabbed a few times. He luckily had some books and badges, making sure that they didn't hit any vital organs. But yeah, because of that, Jotaro is still hit, and it looks like he's dead. So he falls to the floor and decides to play dead, so that Dio comes closer so he can punch him. And a few things happen. Eventually, he has to stop his own heart for a few seconds, so that Dio won't listen to the heartbeat. And Dio just comes closer with a stop sign or something to decapitate him. But that's when Poner suddenly appears behind him, stabs him through the head, and Dio stops time. He's punches him away, and he's like, "Not bad. Have you been a little stronger, or just a little more to the right, you would have killed me, dipshit." So Poner flies away. Then he once again tries to hit Jotaro with the stop sign. Jotaro is like, "Fuck no!" Punches him away. He flies away and shit. Right, and because of that, God, I have a headache. Because of that, Dio flies away. Even in stop time, his fucking skull gets crushed. That's how strong Star Platinum is, after all. Flies away, takes some major fucking damage, and eventually says, "Alright, time stop," and clings himself to a taxi so he can get the fuck away. He tries to drag himself away, but then eventually, it turns out that Jotaro has also already learned time stop, because he just appears out of a fucking what are those things called? The holes on the streets.
Manholes.
Manholes, yeah.
Manhole.
He just kind of he opens up a manhole to hide, and then just Jotaro is fucking in there for some reason, and he's like, "Oh shit, I gotta get out of here." Keeps running away, and then eventually they come back to Joseph's corpse. Oh yeah, by the way, but previously, Jotaro did get to speak to Joseph's spirit as he left his body. But right, Dio takes Joseph's corpse, stuffs his hand into his neck, and sucks him dry of all the blood. Literally sucks all the blood out of his body. It looks like that one meme.
Like that.
So right, and that makes him more powerful, because remember, he has Jonathan's body, so it's Joestar blood. Makes it's great. It's good for him. And eventually, the decision, he threw this because he's getting a power up. God, it's late. Because he's getting this power up, he is able to stop time for 9 seconds now, which really fucking bad for Jotaro. So yeah, they keep punching, keep throwing hands, keep thingy. Eventually, they end up on a bridge, and Jotaro is on the floor. And Dio stops time. And 7 or so seconds pass, and he comes back with a fucking road roller, yeets it on top of Jotaro, And
that's where that comes from.
and they both just actively punch the road roller, Jotaro to not get crushed, Dio to crush Jotaro, and eventually it seems like Jotaro lost, like Jotaro's dead, and Dio is like posing on the road roller like, I've won. And then he realizes that he can't properly move anymore. And then Jotaro appears behind him because, like, surprise, bitch, I stopped time. And that's how the stands are similar. They both have the ability to stop time for some fucking reason. So, yeah.
I see.
Jotaro fucking punches Dio really hard. He flies away, like punches him a lot of times to the point where it breaks his legs. And Dio is like, what the fuck, dude? I needed those. But yeah, Jotaro is like, alright, I'm gonna let you heal, and then I'm gonna beat you so fucking bloody you wish I didn't let you heal. But then Dio cheats, like lets blood from his leg fly into Jotaro's face. And that once again pisses.
Yeah.
That once again pisses Jotaro off. And right as Dio tries to deliver a swift kick with his stand to kill Jotaro, Jotaro punches against it. For a moment, Jotaro's stand's hand cracks. Wait, did I ever tell y'all the name of Dio's stand? It's the World. It's the final tarot card. The World against Star Platinum. And you know, Star Platinum's hand cracks, and it looks like Jotaro is about to lose. But then he is once again so much cooler and so much stronger that his punch just goes through the leg of the World, and it starts cracking, and the cracks go up the body, and slowly the stand is ripped in half, and because the damage of the stand reflects to the user, Dio is ripped in half, and he fucking explodes.
Awesome.
And then
Dio tried to mog.
Yeah, but he lost. Dio got outmogged. But then, after Dio is dead, you know, they're in a... They're being driven to Jotaro's being driven to a hospital, and the speedwagon, or rather their, like, medic staff is, like, taking both Joseph's body and Dio's body. I don't know if anyone bothered to pick up Polnareff's body, but he's still alive. But yeah, Dio is, like, ripped in half, but so is Jonathan's body. So all that remains of Jonathan is just a stripped apart body and a singular bone that'll come up in part 6, but we'll get to that.
Of course, a singular bone is what comes up in part 6.
Yeah, and but yeah, Jonathan therefore finally gets to properly rest with Dio dead. But Jotaro is like, dog, I want my grandfather alive. The fuck? So he just starts pumping Joseph's heart, injects the blood that Dio took from him back into him, and that somehow revives him. And then Joseph is like, you know what? It's time for a prank. It just pretends to be Dio being reborn in Joseph's body, which is fucking hilarious. But yeah, later on, you know, Joseph is alive again, and eventually they burn Dio's body, and Dio is finally, permanently dead.
Are you fucking with us this time? Or
No, this is genuinely, like, we're gonna see flashbacks, but Dio is dead. He's not coming back from this.
Thank fucking God. I hate this. That bitch owed me money.
That son of a bitch owed me money.
That's so
money.
What's the ranking for this one?
S. Instant S.
I almost fell out of my chair. I was so peak.
Alright. Those were the fights of parts 1 through 3 based on how I remember them. So that was a great episode of Stellar Shenanigans. I have a headache.
We just got to listen to Mario yap, I'll be honest. That's what they...
Mario yapping for 3 hours straight.
2 hours, 40 minutes. But yeah, it is midnight. So, do we have any last words for this episode?
Look at social media for the title ideas. Just, what?
Lamau.
I completely forgot that Peanut left.
The forbidden one.
But right. Do we have any last words for this episode? Because I do want to finish it. I'm going to upload it tomorrow. I want to go to sleep.
And shit and fucking pussy.
Don't be like Dio.
Yeah, don't be like Dio.
If you ever get the ability to become immortal, don't take it. Kill your...
Yeah.
Remember
Persona
to
3.
piss in every straw you find in the ground.
Remember, in this world, it's Mog or be Mogged.